And we are back here once again with another episode of the Iron Man Podcast, episode 528. It's going to be another rendition of Friday Bangers. We have two MCU trailers to go over today. As far as that is concerned, nothing else has really popped off. I mean, Comic-Con's coming up very, very soon. That's like the really, really big news is going to come out for all these studios. Actually, it's crazy. I would prefer if Comic-Con is just for comics, but Hollywood has infested Comic-Con for so long that people mostly want to go there just to be a part of Hall H. They can see Kevin Feige and all the actors and everything. And what's crazy is we actually looked up the ticket prices to go. I think and it's like $1,000 a ticket. It's like, that's actually ridiculous. It's actually borderline crazy.
Unless you can get in on a press pass. Then it's free.
So easy, right? You just apply for a media pass and then get rejected.
Yeah.
So
well, you know why you'd get rejected, right?
Hey, I am media literate. I can
read.
Good.
I can read words, so I'm good. I can speak the words too. So
oh God. And today, as you guys know, Iron Oxide wasn't gonna have the weekly horrors gallery. He's busy. They're gonna return next week, actually. So I told him, hey, we'll just do it. And then come to find out, everyone else already made plans except for me and you. So you're basically my last choice.
Wow. That's a great introduction. Hey, I'm always here on Fridays. Come on. So
I've always told people 3's a crowd, 4's too many, 5's a gangbang. That's how it works. Or orgy. No, 6 is an orgy. So what is 5 technically by that standard? Group sex? Whatever. Good Lord. So
depending on combination, are you talking about like F, M, F, F, M?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Or are you talking, in your case, F, F, M, F, F? I don't think you could handle 4 women at once. So I'm just saying, I'm putting that out there.
Do you not think my tongue is good enough for that?
We're not getting into your tongue at this moment. You wonderful linguist.
Oh, and later on in the show, we're going to be doing the trailer reactions / discussions for Captain America: Brave New World and the new Agatha show. Mostly Captain America. I'm highly debating on not doing the Agatha one because I just don't really care, honestly. But that's pretty much it. Nothing else ended up happening. We'll just talk for a little bit and then just kind of go from there. So, what is going on with the cats, actually?
Well, one's asleep and the other one has now joined me up on the desk.
Fucking hell, man.
But the crime fighting kitten has been training, so he will eventually get that ball. He'll get that ball. He will conquer the ball in the track. He will conquer it.
Oh, shit. And, like I told people earlier this week, when all that stuff happened, keep in mind, I generally felt a lot better when I was able to just, freely speak about it because it just felt like I just got a chance to get something off my chest. Because I don't like when certain things are said, and obviously like narratives get perpetuated on the internet when certain things happen. So it was obviously the better choice to talk about it. Obviously we're not going to reference any of that for the most part ever. I just want to let people know the reason why I did it is because, people need to be set straight. And then I've also mentioned the fact that, if you kind of let one thing slide, you kind of start getting into the idea of like letting a bunch of other things sliding. And it's like, I've never really been like that. So I was like, you know what? Nah, we're just going to take that motherfucker down, because the reaction from what happened as far as like just retweeting something to get that level of reaction was like, wow. I was like, okay, this is the situation we have now at this point. Chloe, what's up? Let me see, Kitty. That could be misinterpreted for a lot of different things. I was really hoping for a good stream this Friday, like the Rogues Gallery stream, but I'll settle for this. Yeah, you fucking hell, you'll settle for this. This is all you got. So fuck off, bastard.
I think he's on my side for calling me a last resort. So,
well,
in your case, of you calling me last resort. So,
what do you mean? I thought Nathan was gonna come, but I don't think his internet is working. Honestly,
he's well. I mean, if you've seen it, he's been talking about a lot of storming and a lot of storms in his area, and he's been having a lot of problems with his internet for about the last day and a half.
Yeah, I know Strider's had that problem too, where like they've been having too many storms up there. It's like, god damn, you know? That's why I don't want to live on the East Coast. Too many hurricanes and storms. Over here in California, we got homelessness, heroin addicts, and hot babes. That's what we got. And high rent prices, and a whole bunch of crime, and a great governor, and a great all that's lies. None of that shit's great. All that's trash for the most part.
I love our president. Our president is the best that has ever been. We need 4 more years of Biden. Okay, that's it for anything for Biden wise.
Oh, we got to say that for YouTube. Yes, we love Joe Biden. We love it.
We think, you want to know what, more than 4 years, he just should be till he dies, until he passes on to the great beyond. If it's another 4 or 8 or 12 or 20 years, he just needs to remain in office. There we go. That's democracy.
Nate's entire house collapse? I hope not. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that. I would get a refund on the house too. We wanted a good stream, but we have to settle for the L that is MSK. God damn.
Wow. They are just all about roasting you tonight.
What did I do? I'm literally putting out like quality entertainment for people, and then they're just like, "You're a piece of shit. You're a bastard." It's like, God damn. What can I do to make you guys happy? You know,
I was hoping to go to the theaters tonight and seeing a really good action thriller, but instead I turned on Tubi for release to streaming only movie.
I'm just saying, Tubi is honestly pretty good. The other one that no one uses is Pluto TV, but
I use Pluto.
That is. You do?
Oh no, yeah. I use Pluto. I mean, I don't know what these are. My mic keeps all of a sudden jumping up. No. I use Pluto because I mean it's got stuff on there that other services don't have.
Yeah,
and it's good because I mean it's free. So I mean, even if it is classic TV, well, guess what? That's where all the good stuff shows are right now. It's nothing modern.
You know, people said, well, the reason why I don't go on Pluto TV and Tubi is because they have ads. And I was like, dude, I don't know if you've been living under a rock, like actually living under a rock, but every single major streaming services, even Netflix, which is the only profitable one, has ads. People factor in. The reason why you even went to streaming was to not have ads. You just get full content without ads. And then they ended up bringing in advertisers because they ended up making no money. People factor in. The reason why advertisers are there is because they can obviously advertise their product and they give you obviously money for letting them do that. Well, if the streaming services were profitable, they wouldn't even need to do that. Like people say, well, they could make more money. No. If they're already making enough money, it will be stupid to have an advertiser. You don't need them. You literally would not need them, honestly. It would just be a waste of time. You have to write a contract for who gets what profit. It's like, it's not worth it. But then again, we know they hadn't made any money. So Peacock, all those ones.
Well, and look at all of the free streaming services that are out there. They're just ad-based. That's the reason why they're free. It's ad-based.
Yeah.
And and if you really look at like Tubi, specifically, Tubi has modern released movies. They have. Yeah, because they're paying for it. Now, granted, it was an acquisition that they got with the Fox deal, Disney. It's because it was a Fox product.
Oh God, man. It's so crazy how they made a Disney Plus streaming service that literally might be less profitable or at most might break even by 2025 when they have Tubi that is just killing it, doing basic television shit. Well, and that's crazy to think about at this point, you know?
And Hulu. They're going to kill Hulu. They're going to kill Hulu in the process because they're going to turn around and they're going to fully merge Hulu with Disney Plus. And essentially Hulu, I would not be surprised if Hulu completely goes away and all it ends up being left is Disney Plus and just a section called Hulu on the streaming service. Completely
You know,
get rid of Hulu as its own entity.
You know what's also really weird about streaming services that people don't even notice is I'm pretty sure you have this too. A lot of people have it. Phone carriers partner up with these companies that have streaming services because you get a phone through them or whatever you have through them, you get a streaming service, right? Some of those numbers are, I'll say fudged. That's like the wrong word. They're a little manipulatable because how many people are subscribers to these services because they are subscribed to their phone service, you know?
And you'll never know that you're never going to hear that number, what the actual breakdown is.
Yeah, I've actually never heard of it. I've actually never heard of like who are your phone carrier subscribers versus like, hey, I'm paying out of pocket for this. You know,
I have Xfinity. When having Xfinity for my phones means I get Peacock for a reduced price. It's not free. It's not free though. That is the surprising thing. Even though Comcast owns Netflix, not Netflix, and owns NBC Universal, but I'm still at a reduced cost getting Peacock, but I'm still paying for it.
What's really crazy is that there's even the other metric of like active subscribers versus like subscribers that are just there, just kind of like waiting for something to drop. Like, how many active subscribers does Netflix really have? Because Netflix has what, 230 million? Oh, the other ones have like 80, 90. Amazon Prime is like 100 some odd million. But there's also a bunch of dead subs on those streaming service channels too, because like how many people that are actually subbed are watching content consistently, like an active sub? You're never going to hear that either.
Well, look at if you're going to look at Amazon, Amazon's a weird one in itself. Anyone that has an Amazon Prime account to get 2-day shipping free and get all of these perks have their streaming service tied into that.
Yeah.
Whether they're using it or not is a completely different story, but it's available to them, and it counts as a member to the streaming service. So people that bought Amazon Prime strip purely for the shipping perk, yeah, they're automatically count as a subscriber to their video.
Yeah, there's so many ways they could just easily manipulate these numbers. I remember back in 2022, Netflix had that really big crash. Remember that? Where they lost like $1 billion, $2 billion some odd dollars when their whole like stock crashed and everything. They lost a bunch of subscribers. They laid off a whole bunch of people. They went back on their password sharing thing because later on, I think one of the presidents of their content or whatever, someone executive in that area, their company, I mentioned the fact that people password sharing was a big reason why they couldn't spend more money on more content, actually, because people need to factor in when you password share, that person that you're sharing it with is not paying for the content. And if you have 1 to 3 to 4 people sharing a password, not paying for the content, then that also means that this takes money out of things that they could produce, obviously. So they did the password sharing restriction thing and their revenue went up. Gee, I wonder why. You stopped people from stealing your content and your money went up. I could only imagine that would be the outcome. Like, what the hell?
Iger's already kind of made comments to that in their shareholders quarterly meetings of they're going to start doing the exact same thing Netflix did. But they won't roll that out. They're not going to roll it out immediately. Well, obviously, because you're struggling just to become profitable. The last thing you want to do is then run more people away from your service.
What's really crazy is a lot of people thought that would run people away from Netflix, and it didn't. They still the most sub. They were just, oh, okay. Because what Netflix did, they canceled the password sharing thing, but they said if you want to have this person on your account, you're gonna pay the extra fee for them.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea, because technically that person still isn't paying. They're just going to charge you more for that person. Good idea. You know?
Simple thing is okay, here's your base product. Your base product is for 2 users. Or 2 users to check into it. You want an additional one? Let's say the service is $14.99. You add an additional person on, it adds $2 to it. Now it's $16.99. Add another person, $2 more. People give their friends or whatever, or family, or the family owing, or just take on the cost, but at least they're getting from the additional users, even if it's under 1 login.
Yeah. Because people, I imagine you're going to give your mom the streaming password. She's like, honey, can I get the streaming password? You're like, fuck no, mom, you gotta pay. It's like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people ain't doing that. They're letting their mom use it.
That's why I set up the passwords for all of my family that are computer illiterate. That way I know all their passwords.
God damn. They're probably all watching Devils Wear Prada or fucking Legally Blonde or some shit. Oh god, man.
No, I just really I mess around with theirs and start watching really obscure movies, so it's up there. I only start it, get about 30 minutes in, so it's in the continue to watch. When they log in, they see in the continue to watch Drag Me to Hell 3.
Jeez, man. Do you know what's horrible about YouTube? Is that, I told you I can't really go to sleep unless there's something playing. Even if my computer goes hibernate later on, if I'm sleeping, I have to have something playing. YouTube, for me, for like the last 3 years, has been putting on those free movie with ads.
Yeah.
There was oh my god, it's been so cringe.
Actually, I've been getting original first runs as movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. When I wake up, dude, I swear there was a woman literally screaming, and I was like, I could hear it in my dream. I'm like, oh, is someone hurting? I thought someone was hurt downstairs. Like, what the fuck's going on? So I woke up. They put on this movie where this dude is raping this chick, and I'm like, I couldn't go back to sleep. I was like, YouTube, what the fuck did YouTube just show me in this movie with free with ads? It was like this mafia movie where this guy like owned this girl. I was like, what? I was like, hell no, put me on some fucking, I don't know what. I think I put on like F&T or something, because if you put F&T on it, loops to like all the episodes. So god, for like the last 3 or 4 years, dude, YouTube has been just looping me with autoplay with free ad movies that are just, you're like, what is this? Everyone in the comment section is like, went to sleep, woke up to this trash.
Yeah, I tend to not fall asleep to YouTube, and mainly because I have my own in-house media server.
Yeah,
that I converted all of my DVDs to digital, so I can stream it on any of my TVs. So I've lately been falling asleep to South Park.
Not a bad one, I would say. Falling asleep to South Park is not that bad. Oh, what was the last season I watched of South Park? I think the season in 2017, 2018, when they were doing that weed. His dad was on like,
oh yeah, Integrity.
Yeah, Integrity. Yeah. Yeah, because like for South Park, since the episodes are always really, really good, even the really like, even the episodes you don't laugh at are usually pretty well done. I want to go through them in order because it just feels like I'm just through a journey. Actually, they're doing like specials now. I don't know if you count the specials as movies. They're kind of supposed to be considered movies though, because that's why Paramount bought them for to produce movies and the episodes alongside their show too.
The new things I would say are essentially movies, being that they are usually about 90 minutes long, which is equivalent to a movie, so hour and a half. But like the War on Obesity, the Enter the Panderverse, those definitely, let's see, not suitable for children. That one was quite literally those are little movies. So I kind of see them more in the line of, in the way of
Hobo, what's up, man? Greetings from the homeless shelter. No, Hobo, I saw your shelf. This man right here says he's a hobo. Man got like 6-8 omnibuses, which retail for like God knows what, like 70 to 150 some odd bucks. Bunch of trade paperbacks, bunch of boxes full of comics. If people said he hasn't read any of them, he's like, oh, hello,
because he understands what priorities are.
Right.
The books and omnibuses and are more important than actual stable living conditions.
True. And that's true. Imagine having Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar and more under one streaming service, and it's still not being profitable. Yeah, I would say this. The Pixar thing is actually Bob Chapek's fault. One of the things with the internet, people don't really factor in is like some of the stuff here is just not applicable in real life, not at all. Even if you're asking like the most average person. But one of the decisions that they did make on the internet that people did hear about that did affect real life was the Bob Chapek straight to streaming Pixar movies. Remember how he would just throw Pixar movies that were brand new straight to streaming, and it basically told people, well, why would I go to the theaters to watch Pixar movies when I could just watch them on Disney Plus when they drop? It was honestly one of the few decisions ever that actually affected actual moviegoers, because they were like, wait a minute, if I have kids and it's already expensive to go to the theater with kids, and these movies are dropping on here. I just subbed to Disney Plus for like $7. Then I get the new Pixar movies, so it cuts out what like $150 to go into the theaters. Yeah, you kind of like save the Go ahead.
Well, they changed the view. What happened during the great pandemic is that they completely changed people's behaviors, and them trying to push content out because of the great streaming wars that were occurring at that time. Yeah. Everyone's stuck at home, so everyone's subscribing to these services. They see a huge boon from it. That's the reason why Disney Plus started when it did, because they saw, oh, everyone's going to be locked at home. They're going to need something to do. They can't go to the theater, so let's kick this service out and pump all of our stuff onto it, and let's produce a bunch of content for it. Well, after we started getting past it, where theaters were starting to open up, well, they did day and date. Day and date was a terrible idea for them, because people then were like, well, why go to the theater? I got the comforts of home. I have my COVID cash where I bought this huge media setup for watching movies at home.
He's projecting. You probably like, I did.
I didn't. I already had that set up well before.
Oh, okay.
See, so I didn't do that. But it trained people to go, well, I can just watch it at home from the comfort. I can stop and pause the movie for a restroom break or to go get more snacks, and I don't have to pay the overcharging of pricing for snacks.
And you got to factor in how much money that's going to save the families. Like, if you have a family of what's the average number of kids a family has? Like, what, 3, 4? It's like the average number.
2. Well, it used to be like 2.1 children, but I think we're actually under now 2.
Yeah, when you think of family of, because people usually say a family of 4. So let's say nowadays it's changed now to a family of 3.
Family 3, family 4.
So that's going to run you what, like $200, gas, concessions, ticket prices. Afterwards, you go home, you're going to eat about $250 for that one movie. You got to factor in how much money the families have saved not going to go potentially see Pixar movies in theaters. But then again, you have to realize, when you do any business decision like that, that's going to cut into somebody else. So yeah, that kind of saves the family some money, but Pixar is screwed. Pixar just had all those layoffs. Gee, I wonder why they had those layoffs, people. A bunch of their big blockbuster tentpoles went to a streaming service, told families basically, well, we don't really got to go watch these in theaters anymore. Yeah, gee, I would wonder why there's layoffs. There's no money coming in.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. And their animation, despite people having interesting feelings about it, that does cost a lot of money to be at that level of animation. You're talking like millions of dollars invested in, so those millions of dollars invested in aren't coming back in, because at least, even if your movie flopped, you're still getting something. Well, now you're just getting nothing. You're hoping, well, if my movie did well on streaming services, like, how much money is Disney going to give? Will they give Pixar if their movie flops or does well on a streaming service compared to, like, if it flops in the theater? I imagine there's much more different incentives there.
It's just money. Well, the thing is because Pixar is Disney, it's pocket shift. It's shifting the liability to different pockets.
Of course you would. Master hobo sneaking food in the theater.
No one's going to notice this huge bucket of KFC when I walk in.
What's crazy is if you go to if you go to the theaters that I go to, I'm in California, so we have all the big chains out here. They sell chicken wings there. They're like, you can get like 5 for like $8. They're actually pretty good. I vouch for the chicken wings there. They taste great, honestly. I'm just fantastic. Okay, I get it. A black guy talking about chicken wings being good. Okay, I understand. But the pizza
no. Go ahead. Go into the stereotype. That's fine.
I'm just saying the pizza and the chicken wings were great. I usually get pizza and chicken wings over popcorn now. I was never the biggest popcorn guy in the theater. It was okay whenever I had it. I always get like chili cheese nachos and like a Snickers ice cream bar. Or if I went out to town theaters, then it's different.
I want a rack of ribs. Screw it. I want to sit in a place that's got table in front of me, so I can have like a rack of ribs, and I can have chili cheese fries as I'm watching the next Avengers movie. If you are going to make me suffer through Avengers 4, or is it Avengers 5?
Avengers 5.
Oh yeah. I want to stuff my face with food, because I'm going to wrap my brain on the stuff that's going to be on the screen. So I might as well rot and have some enjoyment with some soul food, some really good food while I'm being brain rotted.
Man, well, now they're just introducing the I don't know if your theater ever had this. Did your theaters ever have alcohol? Because ours didn't. I don't think ours still do, honestly. They made. I'll be honest here, our theater was so ghetto. They just now got those recliner seats, and they don't recline. Apparently, the guy that would come and make the chairs recline, it's too much money. They just swapped out these ghetto, disgusting seats for actual theater recliner chairs. I shit you not. I've been going to that theater since I was in first grade. And that theater, just now in our Lord year of 2023, just got professional reclining theater chairs that don't recline.
No, we've had those for a decade and a half now.
Hello, white man.
Hey. Okay.
Well,
we can't hear you.
God. This is what he's really saying, honestly. What a profile picture he put for himself on StreamYard.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. Oh, wow. Okay, all right.
All right, I'm back. I just figured what would be the whitest thing that I could possibly post, and that's me in computer glasses.
God, man. Chloe, I don't feel comfortable.
I feel attacked.
I
feel attacked as a glasses wearing individual that by just throwing on glasses becomes the computer nerd look. Just saying.
I mean, blame Hollywood for that one. I didn't co-op that.
Well, why can't I be the hot girl that if I simply take off my glasses, all the girls would be after me?
Isn't that interesting? All the girl has to do is take off glasses and she's immediately hot.
Oh,
which, by the way, she was already
hot.
Yes, undo the ponytail, which she was already hot, by the way. What was it? From She's All That. That's what everybody remembers. But man, she was drop dead gorgeous even as is. I would
that's
have
why they
even
made
with the glasses on, but men, they have to keep the glasses on. Men, they don't get that up. They don't get that opportunity.
Well, they really play into that with Not Another Teen Movie. Specifically, oh, not Lainey Briggs. She's got glasses and a ponytail.
But Chyler Leigh is ridiculously attractive. Grey's Anatomy notwithstanding.
Yeah. Grey's Anatomy. I haven't heard of that.
One of the
years.
I was married to a woman in the medical profession. It was kind of a thing that she hated, and so it was kind of funny to watch her freak out about it. He's like,
married?
HIPAA violation. Oh yeah.
Oh, geez, man.
Hollywood. That's the reason.
So wait, hold on. Can we now call you Alan from 2.5 Men?
Huh?
Hello?
I haven't seen 2.5 Men, so I don't know.
Oh, you would get the joke later on, but that's other stuff we can't talk about, which is fine. My wife actually slept with Tyrone, and she got her back blown out, and then she left me.
Aren't you Tyrone?
You wish. I'm gonna go outside, dude. No, you guys think I'm joking every time I tell you this. I literally go to work. I go to the gym maybe twice a week, and I have to come in the house and start talking to you fucking cloud chasing losers every day. Or edit videos. That's it.
Did Tyrone just simply say, I've got a TV that's actually mounted on a wall? And that was all it took?
I hate all of you. I hate all of you.
Mount your damn TV on your wall. This will stop. That's all you gotta do.
No, mount your
fucking TV, and this will all end. We'll find something else to make fun of you for, but this will all end.
Oh my god! You call that white? I've seen whiter. Step your shit up, Strider. Oh good god!
I mean, I've been at the beach pretty much every other weekend because again, I'm not married anymore, so I've got time to do shit like that. And even though I'm not burning, I'm still actually getting out in the sun and being outside and kind of not being a victim of my vampirism. So it's kind of nice.
Sunlight.
I still gotta wear. I am still that guy, that white guy at the beach wearing a long sleeve UV shirt because I can't reach back with sunscreen. Also, I hate wearing sunscreen. I fucking can't stand it. And I'd rather wear clothes that will get wet and that will actually the wind will blow through and actually cool me down. So it works better, I think, and it's also way easier to manage than having to slather oily nastiness on you that might.
I just get self-conscious with white shirts at the beach that are wet, and My nipples are just pointing out. Just saying. Hey, ladies, my eyes are up here, ladies.
Two can play at that game.
I'm just saying, those new Sydney Sweeney photos were those were pretty good. And that video she made where she was almost about to massage her tits, I don't know why she didn't do it. She almost did it. She knows us. She knows
she has standards. She got completely nude for HBO. She has standards.
Yeah, I need to see that for a friend. You know.
I don't need to see it for a friend. I'm just going to do some self-research to maybe do a video about it later.
That's what
I buried some deep research on it.
Oh, you're going to use your nightstick, aren't you? Oh God! You know what's the most cringiest thing I've seen this week was that this is nothing you can make a topic out of, because the topic we'll just do it. We only have one. We'll just do it later. Was that cringe writing room full of MILF liberal moms that posted that TikTok of them? Well, I don't know what they were doing. It was just so dancing. Cringe. Oh,
yeah, was that like that? Was that a writer's room? I mean, they're just women enjoying themselves. I don't even know where they work.
That's already a problem right there.
Well, the thing is, I don't really know where. I mean, now if it was like Disney or something, which I don't know if it was. I can't find proof of that. That's what people were attributing it to, saying that it was, this is the writers room for Acolyte. Like,
that's. I wouldn't put it past them that actually.
Oh, no. I absolutely believe that it would, but I was kind of like, I don't know if this is the case, because if it is the writers room for the Acolyte, it's just more ammo in the gun. That's all you got. But if it's not, and it's just a bunch of girls having fun, I can't really make fun of it too much, because girls are allowed to have fun. I don't understand it, but still, girls, they can't have fun. They don't know how to have fun. They don't want to have fun.
Strider, girls just want to have fun. Oh, no, girls just want to have fun.
No, my God. Oh,
they just want to have fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can do this all day.
Have you guys kissed a girl and liked it? Like the taste of her cherry chapstick? Did you kiss a girl just to try it, hoping her boyfriend won't mind it?
Usually I try to do it out of the presence of the boyfriend.
True.
Hopefully boyfriend doesn't know. That would be weirder.
Imagine
like,
he was just
your
watching.
Boyfriend knows.
Dude,
and it's okay?
I'll be honest here. I don't know where the cuck thing comes from. Back in the day when we would talk about those kind of things, we would make fun of those dudes. They'd be like, that's like some loser shit. Now guys are like literally going to get off to another guy having sex with their partner. Like, what?
What's
the point of relationships if exclusivity goes out the door?
Okay. If I have my history correct,
your history?
Cuck has no, just world history and everything of the words. Cuck is obviously cuckold, which has actually been around since even Shakespeare.
Really?
So it's not new.
Okay.
So
it's still weird.
It is still weird. I'm just saying it's not weird, something modern and new.
Emerald has in its repertoire.
That's interesting. I didn't really. I mean, wait. They mentioned cuckolding in Shakespeare. Now that I remember it, but was it invented by Shakespeare, or was it?
I think it was around before then, but it was definitely mentioned all the way in Shakespeare's writing. So in other words, so it's been around for quite some time. I wouldn't say that he coined it. I mean, unless Shakespeare did, and then that's just another feather in his cap.
That's what they call him these days.
Can I talk to Tyrone? No, you're mine. I don't give you up at all.
Hey, you were thirsting after me in the Rogues Gallery last week. What gives?
I moved on to bigger and better things.
Oh,
so that means nothing. I'm talking to you guys.
I walked right into that.
Put some pants on. That I'm homeless like you are. I can't afford pants.
It's too hot for fucking pants,
right? I'll be honest. If I wasn't streaming this much, I'd just be naked. Honestly, just wang all hang out, shaved pubes and everything.
There is a streaming service for that.
I heard it's very profitable for here.
I've already told MSK. I'm surprised his OnlyFans isn't on his link tree yet.
Oh shit!
What's really funny, actually, speaking of OnlyFans, what's really fun is going on Instagram, because here's the thing: if they know that you are a straight male, you will get, even if you've never interacted with any of these bitches before, you will get. I mean, I've actually seen OnlyFans models advertised to me, not having an OnlyFans and never subscribing to one in my fucking life. They're like, "Oh, here's how I paid for this OnlyFans." Like, what the fuck? And so, anyway, that aside, what's really fun is to try to find. It's a new brand, but is try to come across. It's like just come across any given random woman. Be like, I bet you have one, and then check her link tree and see what she does. I am 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 of them will have it. It's kind of insane.
Wow, you rate yourself a 6 out of 10? Oh, that's
crazy.
I mean, no Adonis, but
I
have swords on the wall.
I'm all about honesty, and I will overrate myself a little bit, but everyone does, just a little bit, and that's why I modestly can say that I'm a good 3 out of 10.
Waiting for the punchline.
And I'm happy as a 3.
Well,
you guys, I was gonna say, I'm like a 9. So if you guys ever want to kind of be on my level, well, reasons, you're gonna have to kind of get yourself up a little bit there. You know what's really crazy about most things that girls will talk about? Whenever you point this out to them, I love watch. I know this is really bad content, but I love when the smart guys point out shit to bimbos. Like, I need a fucking black belt in debating bimbos. They'll be like, I want a man who's blah, 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 blah. Just ask them this. Why do you specifically deserve that man? They'll be like, well, I got a good personality. And you're just like, all right, okay. Let's just moonwalk the fuck out of this. It's always the same shit. Well, I got a good personality. It's like, that's a dime a dozen.
Well, here's the thing. I was married to a good personality. Turned out not to be a very good personality. And luckily, thank God I don't have kids or alimony to deal with. But still, that's not enough, ladies. You've got to bring something else to the table besides a good personality. And I'm sorry that we gotta know what our investment is. And thing is, you gotta know everybody else's investment. Thing is, you can't have 2 separate standards. Everybody has to meet in the middle. Everybody has to bring something to the table, and everybody has to work together to make a good relationship. If one side has to earn your regard, then that is a relationship doomed from the start. So don't get into those relationships.
Yeah, I ain't messing with no gold digger.
What rhymes with gold?
Do it in a little bit. A gold.
Oh, fuck that trailer! I hated it so much.
Isn't it like isn't not every woman at this point now is considered just a gold digger?
If they have subscribed to modern feminism, possibly.
Yes.
I guess an OnlyFans just a glorified version of that at this point now.
Oh yeah,
or is that a side? Is that considered a side hustle? I don't know.
I think it's more in line with like the world's oldest profession. Is more what OnlyFans is. That's just become more accessible with less shame attached to it. In the scale of society, even though most men will look at a lot of women that do OnlyFans and go, you're not marriage material for me in any kind of way because you've done that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way of it. It's how society has always been. I mean, sex work is not real work. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not meant to be a profession.
Sex work is work.
Oh, I'm sure you're working very, very hard, but it is not a reputable profession. You will have a black mark on your record for your entire fucking life. Now, there have been exceptions to this where you have organizations like Hookers for Jesus, started by Annie Lobear, her story is actually pretty awesome. She was on the Whatever podcast, and I don't remember who she clashed with, but I've been familiar with her since college, and she runs a ministry trying to get hookers in Vegas off of the streets and actually into a decent living and decent home, and get them out of it. And the thing is, unfortunately, it's like crossing the border into the US from Mexico. You can't do it without help. every hooker you see on the side of the road has a pimp, and she is basically a sex slave. And where is I even going with this? But her point was, it doesn't have to. But the entire purpose of this is like, because a lot of these women, they suffer under intense shame. That's how their pimps control them, saying you can never go back home because of what you've done, because of who you are. You're mine now. You're damaged goods. No one's ever going to want you. You have no choice but to stay with me. It's a nice little manipulation tactic, and a lot of them fall for it because they're just been in that abusive relationship for so long, and they sometimes they really even think that they're boyfriends. All that to say, there are ways through it, ways around it. The difference between actual prostitution is that, again, more often than not, you are a slave. But with OnlyFans, you are not. You are working for yourself. You're voluntarily doing this, voluntarily showing your butthole for $3.99 a month. And I'm sorry, there's just no. I don't care if you've paid for your Mercedes that way. I don't care if you've paid for your trip to Madagascar or whatever, just based on OnlyFans. I don't fucking care, and nobody fucking cares. No man is going to wipe you up.
Well, sad thing is that is like literally the top 1% of OnlyFans creators. The rest of them are only making maybe at most $50 to $100 a month. That's it.
Yeah.
It's only the really top that's getting that kind of money anyway. So it's like, okay, so your dignity and self-respect in the long run later in life was worth that $100 a month that you were getting by essentially choosing to degrade yourself. Well, go ahead. I mean, it's your personal choice that you're going to have to deal with later in life.
Indeed. And everybody can choose what they want, but everybody needs to understand there are consequences, good and bad. For instance, there are consequences of people staying away from OnlyFans. That just means there are going to be other pathways that may be available to you, other pathways that are closed off. You may not be flown out to Dubai and partying on yachts because you've shown some Saudi Arabian prince your tits. Or if you have done so, you're going to be closed off from a bunch of. You're probably not going to be a very marriageable person unless you find a man who's going to be willing to look past that. But those men are not plentiful. Everything has a choice. Everything has consequences, good and bad. So just weigh the pros and cons. Recognize that you live in the world that you live in, not the world that you want. You live in the world with reality, and it's never been something that people are going to want to be around and support.
And sex work has always been looked down upon, just always has. There's no amount of like social reconstruction that'll change people's minds about it.
Well, not even come on. Hey, you want to know? It was sex workers that built the Hoover Dam. It was sex workers that helped span the railroad from coast to coast. You look confused, Strider.
I'm waiting for you to explain this.
No, it's the joke. That's not real work. The whole point, it's like hard work actually is what built the country.
Okay, I got you now.
Not laying on a bed spreading cheek.
I got the spreading cheeks. That's what I usually do for women.
I gotcha.
On my OnlyFans page behind a paywall, actually. Throwing it back and twerking. I'm joking. I barely even enjoy waking up anymore.
Sound like it's a Gundam. I just can't do it anymore, Stu. I hate this.
MSK, are you channeling It's a Gundam this evening? Is that what this is?
What if I don't want to be a Gundam? What if I just want to be a Planet of the Ape?
You want to be a Force ape? Force monkey?
Oh no. A Siga? Oh shit.
Siga? Yeah.
That's Acolyte season 2.
Oh,
sadly, you want to know what is worse? That was the most distressing news that has come out. Is there will not be a season 2 of the Acolyte?
Crazy.
That was
shocking.
Just, devastating
news. Oh no! Oh, how can that happen? Oh, that was terrible. Oh no! Oh, bummer. We're not going to get more lesbian space witches like grooming kids.
Scissoring people into existence.
Fucking scissoring! I missed
emotional damage.
Before we do the one topic tonight, I've got the one. People wanted us to go over this. To be fair, it's hard to really track how they're even able to do this. I don't know how they do this really. the whole Samba TV numbers, because as people know, the reason streaming services numbers, so when any studio reports that to you, it's very like source trust me bro shit. So people said, well, why can't you trust them compared to like regular TV? Okay. It's very easy to explain. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of everything, but it's easy to explain. The reason why syndicated TV has to report the numbers is because they have advertisers on their network throughout all their channels, right? The more viewers they get, or how many millions of people that watch their shows, the more money you get, okay? So the advertisers have to know who's banking in the most viewers so they can go and put their advertisements there and invest into. They legally, literally have to do it. It's not like an if and ors or buts. You literally have to do it. Otherwise, that is considered fudging. You're being deceptive, and that will be very bad territory. Now, if you have a streaming service and it's your own thing, you can kind of just report whatever. So Disney could report like, fucking movie is the biggest movie since ever, best since Godfather, best since the original Star Wars. It's got more viewers than life
qualifier,
itself.
Qualifier.
The biggest movie to stream on Disney Plus on a Thursday of
at 7:05 p.m. in between this particular demographic.
It's always
so many qualifiers.
The sickest strike back. All
Sega.
right. So Samba TV had reported this earlier today. This was around 2:03. So about 5-ish hours ago, 6 hours around the East Coast, whatever. The Samba TV weekly wrap-up is here. Spinoffs and sequels top the charts this week. House of the Dragon continues to rank number 1, followed by Beverly Hills Cop, the 4th film in Eddie Murphy's Beverly Hills Cop film series that started 40 years ago. Here's your breakdown. Oh, wait. No Disney.
Hey, wait. What? Whoa. Where's the Acolyte?
What is that? Maybe the dude looking like this? Where Disney? Where you at? I thought your show was doing very well. Oh, wait. It's almost like a bunch of people just lied to us on social media to gaslight us into believing shit we already knew existed. Crazy.
Not only is the Acolyte not in there, nothing from Disney is on there.
Yeah.
Not Echo, not anything.
The closest Disney has to touching this list is Hulu.
Yeah.
Technically, yes, because they do own that.
Which The Bear, everybody has been recommending The Bear to me. And actually, my brother was pretty pissed off at it because it was just apparently season 3 was not what it should have been. It's not with the same caliber as seasons 1 and 2. But I've had everybody. I have an agreement with him. I'll watch The Bear if he watches Arcane season 1, which that is for me, that is a bigger commitment than him, because Arcane season 1 is like what, 10 episodes, and The Bear is what, 3 seasons now. But
The Boys, I mean, I've heard so many divisive. I was never really into ever gonna watching The Boys. People would think like that's my kind of humor. I feel like that kind of humor dries up and runs out of its flavor if you try to push it in long form, and it kind of feels like that's where it's getting to now. They've pushed every single button or part of superhero satire that they could, so they're at the point now where they have to try something so ridiculous to get people to keep watching. And I saw the clip of like the girl opening her tits and spitting her breast milk at him. Like, that's just weird. Like, who watches that mess? That's just disgusting. That's just, why would I want to watch that? It's weird. It's disgusting.
The thing about The Boys, it was some, at least the first couple seasons, the gross out humor was somewhat believable within the context of the universe, and especially and didn't really. I mean, I found it really, really irritating because everyone's like, well, it's going after both sides. Like, no, it goes after the left with a squirt gun. It goes it's just with a mister, and then it goes after the right with a bazooka. There is no difference. Like there's no similarities there. They very much pull their punches, and they barely pull off any kind of this both sides, which is we live in a world where Joe Biden's fucking president, and we live in a world where that one side of the aisle cannot understand what a woman is, or where they're like kids will chop their bits off, and that will be like that. We live in a world where there's comedy gold around every corner, just looking at Twitter, but they don't touch that. and they will never touch that because Eric Kripke, wow, say that 10 times fast.
Good Lord.
Eric Kripke is a leftist hack, and he's a piece of shit because he just won't stop himself. He won't do exactly. It's just shock value. It just keeps people talking.
Yeah, that
about
runs out after
bullshit.
a while. Yeah. Like it's the idea.
Get tired of it.
It's like Cocaine Bear. Let's just use that for example. If that movie in concept, I haven't seen it, but just use the concept alone for that. That would sound kind of really ridiculous, right? A bear doing cocaine and killing people. Well, if you try to do that, let's say in like a sequel or 2 sequels or whatever, that would the joke kind of runs out. Like it's cool for like a once or twice maybe thing. You can't keep doing that for long term. I'm just saying, like I've just never been someone that's been kind of fond of that stuff. You know, the joke kind of runs out, stops being funny after a little bit. You know, like when you do enough shock value humor, it's like, well, you got anything else? Yeah, you got any substance there? Usually tends to not be there.
You had some interesting stories with when you introduced Soldier Boy, but then you put him on ice again, and now he's never showing up again because everybody loved Soldier Boy. Everybody loved Homelander. Nobody loved anybody else. And even Billy Butcher got kind of annoying after a while. It's like I can only tolerate, oh yeah, Mr. Gritty guy with the backstory so long. It's like, dude, grow, please. Show some growth with these characters, but we're not seeing them grow. Hardly ever. No. Oh, we've given Huey and Butcher superpowers now. Okay, I don't give a shit because because their characters are really not changing. It's just
Anthony Starr doesn't think he'll take on a new superhero role after The Boys ends. I'm getting old. My body doesn't want to do much action anymore. Nobody's getting probably roles after these TV shows.
I mean, superheroes are kind of gone because what was it Razor Fist? I think Razor Fist pointed out when superheroes go the way of
Westerns
deconstruction.
Oh,
that when anything goes the way of deconstruction, it's done.
Yeah.
After that, there's nothing. After that, you may got a couple good things here and there, but after that, as a bankable concept, it's over. And that's what happens. That's what's happened for every single one, Westerns especially.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys about this before we go into the Captain America thing. The Alec Baldwin situation. I'm not gonna make a topic out of it because I just didn't care that much. I remember the situation. So basically, they were filming this movie called Rust, and they inspected this gun. He used the gun and inadvertently killed somebody, but he had thought that it was going to be rubber bullets, right?
No, blanks.
No.
So my
blanks.
Bullets.
It was supposed to be blanks in it.
I shoot blanks.
My whole thing on it is that he, as the producer of the movie and the person holding the gun, are definitely civilly liable. Now, when it comes down to it, is more on the armor to make sure that the guns were clear and only had blanks. It's not the actor's responsibility to check the weapon that it's only blanks, but he's still the producer, so he's overall responsible for everything that happens on set because he is the producer of the movie. From the criminal charges aspect of it, I can see it from both sides of it. Yes, he should be because it's involuntary. He still did kill a person. Even if it wasn't intentional, he still, his actions still resulted in a death. However, because he is not the one that was supposed to be checking the weapon to make sure that it was blanks, that you really can't criminally charge him for something that really was not in his realm of responsibility. So him getting thrown out, I can see that the reason why but again, the only reason why is because the prosecution failed to, I guess, release some evidence to the defense, and they ruled that as a failure and then dismissed with prejudice, so they can't even recharge and can't go back to trial.
Yeah, I would disagree in one point. You are responsible for the operation of the gun. It doesn't go off automatically. So keeping your finger off the fucking trigger helps. And don't pull it unless you don't pull it until you're ready, until you've checked and double checked and triple checked the fucking gun. Because it was during a rehearsal. It wasn't actually during filming, it was during a rehearsal. And so you don't put your finger on the trigger. And I don't know how the shot will even work out. I don't even know if this film's going to get released. I doubt it. And I don't really even know if they'll feature the shot.
They keep saying that they are working on it, and part of the kind of the settlement with Elena Hutchins' husband was to make him a producer. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I would not want that.
Well, he gets a cut of the movie when it comes out.
Oh, will people see this? I wonder if people will come see this.
Right now, now there's the morbid curiosity of going to see the movie, upon which she was killed, and watch the movie. So that may drive people going to see the movie.
Are they going to cut that scene out?
Well, obviously
they can. I don't see how they could.
It's not on cam. Well, that was just that was a dress rehersal. So
right, yeah. But I wonder if they're still going to keep that shot or that scene, or I don't. Yeah, I still wonder if they're going to keep that shot where I think he was pointing the gun. The shot in question was described as pointing a gun at the camera, near the camera, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, again, if you're doing rehearsals, keep your finger off the fucking trigger.
My morbid sick mind on that one should put throughout the movie going on and all this stuff. They should put in brackets at the bottom of the screen. This is the scene upon which she was shot.
I do that with The Crow, actually, because I mean I know what sequence it was, because there's one guy who there's that one actor pulled the trigger. He never worked again, sadly enough, and he died really young because it just haunted him forever. Kind of sad.
Wow.
Yeah, the same guy with The Crow, and I know, and I'm kind of wondering, because he fires at Brandon Lee multiple times in that one scene that they share. So I'm kind of wondering which one was it supposed to be, but I mean, you never know. So I know the thing is, like, people are going to go to. People went to The Crow because people went and saw The Crow because it was a great fucking movie, but they also went to it to honor Brandon Lee's final work and Brandon Lee's legacy. How weird is it that this is now going to be not going to be a source of morbid curiosity? I don't think people are going to watch it in loving memory of Helena Hutchins.
Yeah, like I imagine, before
this is the one where Alec Baldwin killed a woman.
Yeah, I would imagine before the film plays, they're going to have it in loving memory, and then after it's over. But my issue is, like, can you really fault the guy if he didn't know, and they actually have people that do that kind of protocol things to make sure it's not real rounds in the gun? Because wouldn't you just put up the conspiracy theory that someone did that just to set him up to kill somebody, to put him in jail if they don't like him? That is a very real possibility.
I'm gonna make this comment. Before I do, I will say that I am not suicidal, but supposedly Helena Hutchins was in the process of making a kind of an expose on S trafficking, and Clintons were involved. In the sense of telling things about what kind of that island, and her doing a documentary on that kind of trafficking. So the conspiracy theory is that it was intentional to get rid of her, to stop it from occurring.
Yeah, I believe
Granted,
he didn't know.
The conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I believe he didn't know, but I believe the people that were supposed to check and make sure that wasn't a real round going at somebody, I believe. I'm just saying, like, people factor in, this is not the first time they did this. People factor in, these are trained professionals that have did this many times in other movies. Like Dwayne Rock Johnson said, these people are pretty well known to make sure those are rubber rounds or not real rounds.
The assistant armor, I believe, was the one who was held responsible for that, and she was some like barely 21-year-old woman, probably diversity hire.
Influencer. No, she was also an influencer.
Oh, come on. I'm trying to give you some credit, bitch. You're an influencer now. You deserve
this. No. Before. No. She, I guess, was connected because I think it was her father who is a Hollywood armorer as well. But she also was doing influencer type videos during that time frame, as well as being the assistant armorer on the set of Rust. Plus, there were stories of them literally taking those guns and shooting live rounds when they were not shooting scenes.
Yeah, I heard about that too. So there's carelessness everywhere. But again,
everywhere.
Yeah,
the bullet doesn't go anywhere if Alec Baldwin does not pull the fucking trigger.
Yes, but in his mind, if he thinks it's not an actual round and he thinks they already checked it, like, can you really fault the guy if he didn't know? like I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Don't do it. Do not. That's just the first rule of gun safety. Always treat the gun as if it's loaded. And second rule, always keep your finger off the trigger to ready to shoot. And number 3, always keep your gun pointed downrange until ready to use. Until ready to use and shoot. I get those confused. But keep it pointed in a safe direction. He violated all 3.
Yep.
Don't do it. At least with the Crow, that was on set. It was actually the camera was filming. The camera was filming, and that shot was used. So it was filmed. There was the film negative did exist of that scene where Brandon Lee got shot in the gut by like the blank that got dislodged or something. It was kind of interestingly enough, if he'd been shot by a real bullet, he would have survived. But it basically was grape shot is what it got turned into, because there was some kind of wadding in there that got stuck, a shell. I'm not sure.
If I remember the story correctly, it was essentially a bullet that was still just lodged in there that did not fire through, that ended up being blown out by the blank.
Yeah, that's
what I thought I had
right.
heard.
Yeah, it didn't get discharged somehow, and then it just was double one. But yeah, MSK, you don't. Yeah, Chloe's exactly right.
Okay, so if people don't know, I was almost going to be a cop. That was something that they had said. You have to always make sure you treat it as it's loaded, because, well, it's a gun. Like it's pretty self-explanatory why you should always try to make sure you keep in mind in your head it's always loaded. Actually, speaking of a guy that unloaded, do you see that viral video of that black guy who's, I don't know, robbing a place? He ran out and unloaded himself on a woman. Not a gun, his lower gun. Ew. I'm actually not kidding.
There was plenty of stories, though, that
I could have got my whole life not knowing that.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of stories, too, that there seems to be people were upset with the conditions on the set, and supposedly Helena and Baldwin had met to discuss the crew's unhappiness on the set at a dinner prior to that event occurring as well. I mean, there's plenty of things that kind of come out where I guess it was kind of heated. Mm-hmm. Almost like the crew was kind of unionizing, almost like on set against Baldwin and his antics. So, like I said, there's just so many stories that just kind of came out that, now we'll never really hear the true story, just because, we're not going to have witnesses coming out and speaking to it. I will be surprised. I went and recently checked the IMDb page on Rust, and I could have sworn there was an actor on that movie, and that was Jansen Ackles, which was which was Dean from Supernatural.
So
I just recently, when I checked it today, he's no longer on the cast list.
Interesting.
And I pulled up and I found ads that, I mean, not ads. I found stories that specifically said that his prop gun had live bullets in it.
Oh, I would have quit then too. Yep, that's that. Yep.
Yeah. So I have a feeling. Yeah, the reason why he's no longer even listed on the IMDb is he quit. After that event happened, I think he quit.
Yeah, I would just quit. I would just pay them their money. Even because people are like, well, what if they suing? Who cares? Give them the money. I don't care. That's too. Nah, fuck it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the mental. That's what I was trying to say.
I'm not sure. How much is your life worth?
Yeah, like I don't like. I have you can blame him for the shooting, but I thoroughly believe that the people that were in charge of handling the gun equipment on set were trying to basically either. Maybe they didn't like these guys because, in Hollywood, it's always very, how do you say it? Fake friendships, deceptions. It's all about cloud chasing. People are always ready to backstab each other. I've always believed when the story dropped, I believed they didn't like him for whatever reason. Maybe he was mean to them on set one day and they were like, I'm going to fuck with this guy. I'm going to make sure he kills somebody. Is that too far of a possibility? People will literally go to crazy lengths to do something if it means getting back at somebody. I'm just saying, I read that story too. I was like, wait, why would his gun have No, those guys set them up. Come on, man. Those guys that did the gun. Who else would do it? I'm saying, pretty sure the hairstylist isn't going in there putting in live rounds,
Which, judging by the level of of competence, it could very well have happened. The hairstylist could have just walked by, like slipped the influencer a 20 or a Starbucks, and then just walked right in and loaded him with real bullets.
Yeah. That is a video you would throw up at. That fish is disgusting.
Yeah, I haven't eaten all day, but even that one, I would find something.
The hairstyle. Well, no, the hairstylist probably promised like 50 followers.
Like I'm telling people right now,
influencers are insane.
I know some of you guys have like regular normal lives and you just kind of watch YouTube stuff for like, escapism stuff. But believe me, I mean, you guys literally saw what just happened to me this week. Someone was just willing to stab me in the back for something that they weren't even involved in. So factor what I just went through, which is on a very smaller scale compared to what happened on a Hollywood set, where if an actor makes you mad and you're on set all day, it's hot, cold, working conditions might not be the best when you're trying to get a film scene, you're trying to get rehearsal done. Keep in mind, back when Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Vin Diesel were having their beef with each other, some of the cast and crew had made statements and on like articles that it was really hard to get scenes done with these guys. They just couldn't be in the same room together. So just keep in mind, like, people will go to crazy lengths to make sure something happens to someone if they really don't like that person. I believe they set him up. Both people. Just it didn't happen to Jensen Ackles because obviously he's a lot smarter than Alec Baldwin, I would imagine. He's from Supernatural. And he was also Batman. Batman was he voiced Batman and he did a detective work.
And Red Hood.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Really good Red Hood movie.
Great movie, honestly. All right, let's get into the only spicy topic we have today.
Someone sounds excited for the next Captain America down there.
Captain Blackfrica. No? All right.
I heard it described as I heard it 3, 4, 5.
No?
I heard it as Captain African America.
I heard someone say Captain Wakanda.
All right,
but which is unfair to Anthony Mackie. He's a good Falcon.
He's black.
Well, except for Falcon and Winter Soldier, that show was one of the worst things I've ever seen, and he was just fucking terrible.
You need to do better, Strider.
I mean, I don't know anything about anything, but I know my opinion, and I'm going to simp for terrorists.
Well, that's getting clipped out of context.
Well, oh gosh, language is violence is the only language these people understand. Even though I've tied them up and left them like half a dozen people to die in a fire.
Oh, why is Haley Atwell's tits huge?
Because God loves us after all.
That Haley Atwell is so attractive. Tom Cruise gets to have Vanessa Kirby, Haley Atwell, and Rebecca Ferguson. And I get to have Nate.
Tandy Newton.
Crazy. Again, tricking someone into killing someone is that's
again, true. I believe it. I believe anything. I believe everything after Pedophile Island, Jeffrey Epstein's Pedophile Island, which Alex Jones warned about. I remember hearing him talk about that for years, and then it got proven true. I believe everything now. I mean, it just anything can happen.
All right, let's go. Let's get this one banger out of the way. Just one. Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a trailer reaction for Captain America Brave New World official teaser. Now, this movie was announced shortly after the end of the Disney Plus MCU TV show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And it started filming not too long ago, and then filming actually concluded to the point that they could have test screenings. Then after that first initial run of test screenings and the reception was not good, the movie was obviously going through more reshoots. They had another round of test screenings. Those didn't do very well. Then after the second test screenings, they actually brought in new writers to rewrite various parts of it, film once again, reshoots, more test screenings. And then guess what happened? People had said it was boring. They didn't like it that much. Only for guess what? This to happen this time around. Movie gets pushed back because it was supposed to come out in 2024. They push it out to 2025, where it's going to come out on Valentine's Day, only to have more reshoots, script rewrites, and all this stuff. And then we also did a video not too long ago. You guys should go check it out. It's a great video where the budget of the film ballooned from $200 million to $400 million. And that would mean, just off just a break-even point of view from movie math, the movie would need to make $1 billion to break even. Not profit, break even, right? So if you guys aren't into the comic books, which is fine, they have been actually trying to push Sam Wilson as Captain America for quite some time. They've had him a part of the Nick Spencer run. They tried to do it there. That didn't work out very well. People didn't really like that. They did it for the all new, all different Marvel that you guys would have heard about, where they tried to basically race swap all their white male characters. That didn't work out very well. They put them all back in due time due to sales, I would imagine, absurdly crashing. So that started in 2012 when he was just Captain America, right? They tried to do it again in 2014. Guess what happened? Failed. Then in 2022, they gave him his own series called Captain America: Symbol of Hope. Well, Captain America, the Steve Rogers that we know, he was called Captain America: Symbol of Liberty. That was his series. Well, both ended up getting canceled, but Sam Wilson's Captain America run ended up not doing so well at all. It only got to like 12 issues, actually. So, like I mentioned before, they've been trying to push this guy as Captain America for quite some time, and it has not worked out. And now he's been mostly just relegated to just being a part of the Avengers, as this new Avengers run of being Captain America is written by Jed McKay right now. But the Steve Rogers that we know, he has his own series as well that's being written by Michael Straczynski, actually. So, like I told people before, even in the comic books, people do not vibe with Sam Wilson being Captain America. I don't know. So in the MCU, it plays a bit differently. So obviously we know Chris Evans, by the time that Avengers Endgame came out, the original guys were probably very tired of doing super movies after all they made much time, and they chose to retire Captain America. So that gave the MCU the perfect time to pick like who's going to be our Captain America. And then we saw Steve give Sam the shield at the end of Endgame, and then we had the Falcon Winter Soldier. So now, contrary to popular belief, I thought that was the best show that they ever did. I didn't like any of the other ones, honestly. Now, it has its problems. Like, the Do Better Senator speech is trash. The villains are very, very bad. Well, the villains have always been bad in the MCU for the most part, but those were really, really bad villains, honestly. I thought the action, the pacing, I didn't really hate this show. I thought it was actually good for the most part. Or it was okay, is a better word. It was solid to okay. But then I realized to myself, would I want to see a movie of that guy, honestly? Because he doesn't take the super soldier serum. He's obviously just a human, right? I think Bucky would just make a better Captain America. But in the show, he's obviously unstable. So you're at this point where it's like you flip a coin and you get him. Now, here's the other problem with him being Captain America. It kind of just boils down to like all the other like legacy characters getting replacements, essentially. It's like, so people will bring up Green Lantern Corp, okay? So I'm trying to make this a whole comic book spiel, but the reason why Green Lantern is not applicable in this situation, because Green Lantern has always been established to be a corporation of them. It's not just one guy, okay? Steve Rogers, Captain America's mantle is one guy thing, okay? It's just what it is. Green Lantern is a corporation of other people. So it makes sense that there's a black guy, a white guy, a Mexican, an alien, a pink alien. That would make sense, right? So I really don't know what this movie is supposed to entail, right? Because what is it supposed to do? They don't even give him that suit. Like, I like that suit he has. That suit he had was pretty cool. Well, they took it away. So, all right. Now we're going to get another Falcon, which is that Mexican guy. And yeah, people want to say things are like in the comics, but people don't understand. Just because things are in comics does not mean people like them, nor were they received very well, nor were they good.
The yellow Daredevil suit was in comics, and there's a reason it's not yellow anymore.
Yeah. Like, people are going to be like, well, it was in the comic. It doesn't matter. They have literally tried to reboot this guy as Captain America several times, and it has not worked. I have his stuff literally right here in front of me. I've read it's not the worst thing ever, but it's not something where you want to keep this guy as Captain America. He just kind of fits better as Falcon. People say, what about Nightwing and Robin? Oh my God. Robin wanted to become his own thing, to become a different character. That's completely different, actually. Then, remember when Batman died to Darkseid? Nightwing took over as being Batman. People noticed that wasn't Batman. No shit, because people aren't retarded, you know? So, in my opinion, is he Captain America? No, he'll always just be Sam Wilson. That's it. It's not really Captain America, because I don't see him as Captain America, honestly. Now, will this be a good movie? I really don't know, honestly. I mean, the MCU's bar is like really low, honestly, because after Deadpool and Wolverine, we're gonna get that's our next movie. That's our next movie. After that, I don't know what's else. It's Fantastic Four. You got Thunderbolts. And there's the Avengers movies, and then you might get Blade in there if they ever choose to do that, which is probably never happening. But I'm just being optimistic here.
Ironheart is going to be a movie or a TV show.
Ironheart's going to be a show. Yeah, the show. Let's be honest here. None of us have been. I haven't cared about those shows in forever. I don't care what they do, honestly, in shows. It doesn't matter to me at all. The shows have been dead for since they started, essentially. So I'm going to go over the trailer with you guys. This will be my first time watching it with you guys. But before we do that, I'll ask Drunken Emerald Arrow and Strider their thoughts. We'll start with Strider first. What are your general thoughts on this saga that we've been through with Sam Wilson becoming Captain America?
I hate it, not because I like Sam Wilson, as I think Sam Wilson would have been okay as Captain America if not for Falcon and Winter Soldier. And that was one of the things that made me so angry about it, because it ruined Sam fucking Wilson. It made him a snarky, whining little bitch, and he turned into something he never was, even as far back as Civil War, and further than that, his first appearance in Winter Soldier. He was strong, he was capable, he was cool, and he could mess with people a little bit, but he was never trolling them in the middle of a life-threatening situation. Sure, he'd have a little quip here and there, but he was never just messing with people while they're in the middle of a life-threatening situation. Also, the fact that he was simping so hard for a terrorist who burned people alive, who didn't do anything wrong, and even her motivations are really nebulous. They're just ridiculous. She is a Tumblr Reddit troll who just thinks that the world owes her sunshine and rainbows, and she's willing to kill people to get it. And unfortunately, that's not an exaggeration. That's pretty much what Reddit is. But the fact that Sam was carrying her corpse as if he was like an angel descended from heaven, and treating her like a victim. This woman is a murderer. This woman, not just a murderer, a murderer in the worst way, burning people alive who did nothing
and then they
wrong.
Punish Wyatt Russell's character for trying to stop them.
Yes, exactly. And the fact, and and here's the thing: the guy that wrote this, the guy that wrote it, just made it frustrated the hell out of me, because the guy that wrote this show is not known for doing anything except for maybe a couple episodes of Empire and maybe and like 2 low budget black romantic comedies. Not even kidding. He's got nothing else to his name besides that. This guy does not know how to write political thrillers. This guy does not even know how to write action, for God's sake. And for some reason, but he is a black man. And that's exactly why he was given this, because because Kevin Feige probably received orders from top down to write Captain America. What does he mean as a black man holding the mantle? And like, no, because he was fine. Sam Wilson was fine before you made him have that conversation. And it brought the meta into the MCU, and it made no fucking sense, because they kept saying, oh, the America will never, nobody will ever accept a black man as Captain America. Forgetting the fact that we've had 8 years of a black president. How the hell are you writing that line, trying to make this meta commentary upon race in the United States? And the thing is, Captain America is supposed to be a uniting presence, but that show made him as divisive as humanly possible, and I will never forgive it. This movie is, and the only reason I'm bringing this up so much, this movie is a sequel to that. It will inevitably carry over all of that bullshit started in the first one. They have Isaiah, the first Captain America, who kind of tied him into the Tuskegee experiments, which is kind of ridiculous, made him the first super soldier before Steve Rogers, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. They have him actually being the one to shoot President Ross. Spoilers for the trailer, or shoot at him at least. So I think they are clearly. I mean, again, this is a sequel to that show where race featured heavily, and it was so cynical and malicious, and it hated the character of Captain America. And the fact that the man who rightfully had it, rightfully was given the title, they assaulted him, they beat him up, broke his arm, stole his shield that they are not entitled to, and walked away with it like a bunch of thieving little bastards. And we're supposed to see them as the heroes? Absolutely not. That is this Sam Wilson. The actions that Sam Wilson took in Falcon Winter Soldier, this guy. I hate this guy. Not because he's black, not because he's Sam Wilson.
I hate him
because he's Sam Wilson. Because he's Sam Wilson post Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show. If you would Avengers Endgame, that was great. I wanted to see that guy, but he's not that same guy. That's why I hate this already.
The only thing that I would push somewhat back on this, like he's stereotyping like a brick wall coming down on me. I can only push up so much. Is Spider-Man comic reference where he pushes the thing off of him. Steve Rogers as Captain America did make some mistakes. Is it possible that he could rectify making some mistakes in your mind? Like, new to the role, there's a lot of things riding on him being a Captain America. Do you think his mindset could change potentially? Because Steve's mindset changed between, after Avengers to Winter Soldier to Civil War to the final movies.
No, it will not happen.
I'm saying possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's a possibility.
Oh, it's a possibility, but you actually have to have writers willing to do that, willing to have him acknowledge his mistakes. But that's not going to happen because he is the hero. He has seen everything that is in the show was seen as a heroic act. Oh, he may have assaulted Wyatt Russell's John Walker's Captain America and stole his shield and was simping for a terrorist and trying to save her for whatever reason. He's still treated as the hero. The show's treated him as a hero the entire time. Those are heroic actions within the eyes of the writers, and they will continue that into the film. They will never have him acknowledge that because the writers won't acknowledge that those are villainous acts, that those are a mistake. If they do, I'd be very surprised. But Disney always does the stupid thing first. They lean into the insanity before they rectify anything because they're never willing to admit wrong. Is the same writer, by the way, this film as the show. There's no way. They're not going to tell him to fix this.
Emerald, anything you want to say before we watch the trailer?
I'd have to say that
you love black
potential.
People and you love Shaniquas.
Well, no, I would have to say there is a possibility that this may be the 2025 breakup movie of the year. That if you want to end a relationship with your significant other, just take them to the new Captain America movie.
Might I also add, this is releasing in February. Not Valentine's
Day.
Not Valentine's Day, but also Black History Month. Let's be perfectly honest. They're trying. It seems like they are doing, and that's also why I think this is going to lean heavily into the identity politics, heavily into the race angle, because again, it's released in February, Black History Month. They did the exact same thing with Black Panther. Because that's this writer's MO.
Well, I just want to say,
excited. I'm so excited.
Sorry, I just wanted to say one thing before we go to the trailer. You guys are only celebrating one of those days, and I'm pretty sure you're only celebrating Valentine's Day.
No.
Oh.
I'm celebrating my birthday that month. That's why.
All right, let's go through this.
Wilson. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for the invite, sir. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look.
They said lose the mustache or lose the election. You and
I made me laugh.
Haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation, then what happens?
Work with me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Sir, your inner circle's been compromised. Either you can't see that, or you don't want to.
What if it's a trap?
Global power is shifting. You're just a pawn.
You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
You're right. I'm not.
Okay.
It's the full margin.
Oh shit! They finally did it.
It's the full merging of Falcon with Captain America, and it's been the argument always of certain superheroes not being a mantle that can just be shifted onto another character. In this movie, that in this trailer itself, it specifically is making Captain America a mantle that's going to be a military position that anyone can end up doing. So Mackie doesn't work out, we'll just put another military guy into the position, call him Captain.
John Walker. John Walker's my cap. God damn it.
I will say this. I don't think the trailer was all that bad. I think it was fine. What I didn't like about the trailer, what they were going for that Winter Soldier like espionage, crime thriller feel. Why were the lights flashing as much as they were? If you want to do that, okay, I got what you were doing. Just do it like, a thriller. That's it. Not why was it flashing retardedly like that? You're trying to give me epilepsy? It was just flashing like, okay, we get it. You're gonna do a crime thriller. I gotcha. Don't gotta flash it to me. Other than I didn't hate the trailer. I thought it was fine. But
I didn't either.
It came out a lot better than I thought. Now, is this going to make me head over heels for the movie? Absolutely not. I'm casually optimistic given the MCU's track record. But there is one part I will say. When he was like, you're not Steve Rogers. You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers. He should have went to that motherfucker and be like, well, you're not fucking Bruce Banner. See? That's witty dialogue right there. And then Harrison Ford snaps back and says, well, your name's Clarence. See? Come on. Why can't we have good dialogue like that? So I
want Harrison Ford to look at the terrorists that are attacking and go, get off my plane.
I know it's kind of fun seeing Harrison Ford as president again. But I actually did a video about this, and I have a prediction. He's not going to be president after this. He's going to turn into Red Hulk, lose his presidency. His vice president is going to be a strong female woman of color, and she's going to replace him.
With a cackling laugh.
Probably, yeah. And I mean, I would not be surprised, but I am so anxious whenever I see anything remotely like a political thriller. It doesn't have to be involved in politics, like left wing and right wing stuff, because you can have movies like what was it? Not Conspiracy. That one with Clint Eastwood and Gene Hackman, where he sees, or like All the President's Men. It can be a political film because it deals with like a political subject matter, but not necessarily taking on political topics or political themes of the day. So whenever I see the White House, whenever I see the American flag, whenever I see the military, especially coming from Disney, I'm cringing. Because I'm wondering when they're going to drop the ball.
Because he's just rampaged through the
city. That's another prediction I made. That's another prediction I made in my video. There is going to be a J6 reference, or at least there's going to be some kind of visual reference, some kind of line dropped. There's going to be some reference to it. This is an election year. This is an election year. It's been Trump versus Biden for the past 3 years, and we've known this. The writers know this too, and they're also, again, it's Disney. They do this every time. They will not just leave it alone. Winter Soldier did not lean into any identity politics because it was all about freedom and fear. That was it, and that was as good as it got. Using the power of the government to preemptively kill people who may or may not be a threat, but they could not be a threat. I don't know, but it's still a preemptive strike. It's wrong because they didn't do anything wrong at that point. This will not have any of those deep themes because it's Disney. They don't do that. And so I'm wondering when the criticism of the military is going to come up. I'm wondering what political party is going to be in the crosshairs, because we sure as hell know they're not going to be Democrats. And again, I'm just looking at everybody. How many times are they going to have? Again, I just see racial identity politics play into this quite a bit, and I'm cringing.
My thing is the part where he says you're not Steve Rogers. And you're Captain America now. Hopefully that'll be something that they lean into. Like, okay, he's not Steve Rogers, so what will make him his own character? That's the only shining light that I have. Okay, he's not Steve Rogers. I don't like the decision of, Falcon being Captain America. I don't. But what will make this guy stand out? That's all we got to go off of, because as you know, Winter Soldier's not in the movie. I'd imagine they're gonna have his sister as a part of this. I just would imagine.
Fuck that bitch. Get her out of that movie. Get her out of this movie.
Showing humanity in the character. I don't know, honestly. Like I said before, this is leaning heavily towards the crime thriller kind of thing. But the problem with it is you can tell it's not a bad thing. What I will say is, how you mentioned your circle of compromise? Gee, I wonder what black guy they have for this movie that's in that compromise circle.
It's not going to be a black guy. It's going to be a white guy who compromised it. Because these people, and I'm sorry, Kevin. I know I know, and I hear this. We hear this every single time, bashing the movie before it comes out. It's easy to do because it's Disney. They have a track record. They've been doing this for the past 5 years. They always do this. They embrace the identity politics. They embrace the ridiculous storytelling. This could buck the trend, and I would be shocked. I would be shocked, but it would be the exception. It would be the exception to a rule that Disney themselves have been doing since 2019. You can't do this. I'm sorry. You can't take that approach anymore.
I'm not bashing the movie at all.
With all the rewrites and all of the reshoots, potentially maybe Disney has created a good movie.
Potentially
Because they've gone through so many reshoots, or the opposite side is going to be a patchwork movie where it's going to be jumping around. It's going to be really hard to follow because you're going to have two or three different storylines that are being mashed together and tried to make into a coherent film. That is a possibility. Or they've just reshot it so well because essentially they started from
maybe the
scratch.
trailer just looks so good that this is the only parts that were deemed good. Because remember, test screening results were very different from this they've had time to basically turn the trailer into that. So the only other thing that I would say is, if people don't know, Harrison Ford is going to be Red Hulk, which is Thaddeus Ross. Rest in peace, William Hurt. He passed away in 2021, 2022. It's crazy. He got recasted within 2 months because the character had to continue. But with Chadwick Boseman, they couldn't recast that guy. I don't really understand why. No, you can cast, but people are like, the character must go on. Oh yeah, for Red Hulk, yeah, sure. Move on. Black Panther. Now we gotta. What the fuck kind of logic is that? And people say, well, because the argument then was well, he just passed away. It might be too soon. He literally just died, and they recasted him within less than 3 months. If that's not too soon, I really don't know what is anymore. I'm saying there's different weird, dumb standards for that kind of thing. But
you can't grift off of William Hurt's death. You can grift off of Chadwick Boseman's death and be like, come see this movie that pays tribute to Chadwick Boseman, despite the fact that this character that he got off the ground and made Black Panther a household name, as far as normies go.
So look at our closing thoughts about this. We'll start with Emerald. What are your closing thoughts about this, honestly? And we know you love black people and you would date Oprah Winfrey, actually.
Anyway, no, I think it's hard to say how this one is going to pan out. They're going to be coming off of essentially their only successful movie possibly that's going to be occurring, which is the Deadpool and Wolverine. So this is going to be the next movie that's going to be coming out right after Deadpool Wolverine. Now, because of all the reshoots, because of all the bad test screenings, potentially, maybe they have created a good movie, and this thing is going to do spectacularly. Maybe they are going to buck the trend. It may not. I'm not going to say it's going to make $1 billion, and it's going to be a loss, but successful in the sense that maybe it's going to make $800 or $900 million, but it's still, with the amount of reshoots and marketing, it's not going to get its money back. But it's hard to say. We'll find out when it actually starts to arrive. Yeah, there is a possibility that all the good parts were in the trailer. That's been happening as well. That would suck. But like I said, I'm willing to give this one, because of how much they have worked on this one, I'm willing to give a little bit of grace to it, in the sense that maybe because of everything that's been going on, the bad test screenings, all the reshoots, that maybe they're starting to course correct a bit. Maybe they're going to actually, but we won't know until it's released.
And that's And you're correct. We won't know the final verdict until it does come out. But and this honestly, it looks well. Let's see how the marketing pans out, because we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. It's not an elephant in the room. A black man is Captain America. Now, literally nobody has an issue with that, because Sam Wilson is kind of cool, except for me, this Sam Wilson sucks, because again, it is a sequel to it's a sequel to Falcon and Winter Soldier. However, I would like to see that ignored, all of that character destruction in that show ignored, and him return to Civil War and Winter Soldier Winter Soldier Falcon. I don't think that's going to be the case. But this is also, let's see how the red carpet interviews go. Let's see how the press junket goes. If they so much as utter a single syllable, and I'm willing to see it. I'm willing to actually plop down my ticket for the first time in 5 years and see a Marvel film in theaters.
The second one, because you're watching Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh yeah, that's happening. Yeah. But like that's how crazy is that? I used to see multiple Marvel movies every year, and sometimes multiple times a year, and now I can't be bothered to see one if it ever comes out. But one utterance, one single fucking utterance. This is how low my tolerance is. No, I'm serious, and I'm serious. I fucking am tired of identity politics. One single fucking utterance from any cast member, any crew member, anybody. It's talking about, it's the Black Captain America. Do you think you're going to face racist backlash? I'm fucking out. I am done. That my ticket, I will buy a ticket and I will burn. I won't even buy a ticket. That's stupid. But I will not buy a ticket. I will catch this on streaming later. I will pirate it. God damn it. I am tired of this.
All I got to do, just give your ticket to a hood black guy, black kid, in your hood. You're fine. Honestly.
You're not exaggerating. Strider. That's what they wanted us to do.
Strider. All you got to do is it's called pre-ordering your ticket. You pre-order it, and the moment, then you go for refund.
Oh,
true.
Yeah. So I want this to be good. I want a good Captain America movie where we can unite around the character, unite around the principles that he stands for, because Captain America does represent the best that America has to offer. I'm a goddamn patriot. I like American films. I like Top Gun Maverick. Hell, I like the first Horizon movie with Kevin Costner. That was great. It was incomplete. But I want those I want those traditional American values back, because those are uniting. They're great. Captain America was a uniting figure, but I'm just so.
We're saying a black man can't unite white people.
A black man can unite white people. We had 8 years of Obama, for God's sake.
Actual uniting.
That's all I'm saying. We could have a black Captain America that can be uniting presence.
Yeah.
But will Disney let that happen? I doubt it.
My closing thoughts on this. So it's two things. I'll start with the Red Hulk thing. I do think Harrison Ford might do a decent job at being a Red Hulk, but the problem here with that is, like, how are they going to create a meaningful storyline where they're going to beat that guy? Remember, he doesn't have super soldier serum, so he's not powered at all. And even if he was, he still would be matched to Hulk in general. How are they going to beat that guy? That's already a big red flag right there. So you know some bullshit is about to happen for him to lose because he's not superpowered. How would he beat him? I know they've always come up with ways for these characters to beat these guys, but that's the only red flag I have there. The final thing is, keep in mind, when it comes to these trailers, guys, this is a teaser trailer. There's only 1 minute and 48 seconds. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it was that bad. It's fine. It's fine. A little too much of flashing lights and trying to the transitions were so cringe. Other than that, it was fine to me. The problem here is, like, we're gonna see more of this movie in another trailer, because the next trailer is gonna be about 2 minutes long, 2 minutes and 30 minutes long. Sorry, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Sorry. More of it's going to get shown. People were kind of couch optimistic about it. What happens if we get a full-length trailer? That's the problem, is a lot of movies always put the good stuff in the teasers because they know the rest of it's not going to be that good. I don't know. Like you guys said, I want this to be good. I have that specific Captain America's books. They're a lot left to be desired there. So I would hope that the movie does the character somewhat justice. I hope they really do lean into the fact that he's not Steve Rogers. Everyone knows that. Cool. Please never reference that in the movie ever again. We get it once. We get it. Fucking hell. We get it. Then show us why he should be Captain America in his own way. That would be unique. That would be something where it's like, okay, he's different. He's got a different way of doing things, but he's still ready to be Captain America a different way. That's what makes these kind of like other characters with mantles, when the sidekicks go into that, make them different. So that's all I can say, you know? Well, that's it for me. I mean, maybe my wife will get banged out by this guy later on, and Tyrone in the same fashion for a bukkake. Wait, that'll be an Oreo. Whatever. Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are new viewers or returning viewers, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified for whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, signing out, guys. Peace. That's pretty good. You guys are cloud chasing fucks. Chaz, what's up, man?
That's why it's called the teaser.
That's the trick.
Because it's just the tip. That's
the part. That's the problem. Is we know. Dude, I've been following this movie's like test screening reception for a while, and this is the second trailer that I'm really antsy about, because there's gonna be more of this movie shown and more dialogue, and I'm like, God, fucking hell! I would just say honestly, just keep this is fine. But then again, you never know.
I want a scene of Steve Rogers in the grave going, "You took my job."
I can't wait.
You gotta wait for season 2, Rings of Power, for that one. But also, what's also interesting, none of us have mentioned the fact that this is that Sabra lady, the first Israeli superhero, who is basically Captain S. Israel. Probably not going to be wearing the Star of David on her uniform, just saying. But actually, it's kind of funny. You have an entire contingency of people who are saying that they're not gonna, who are just losing their shit because she is Israeli and has the gall to be a superhero, which is like, stop. And to your point about the Red Hulk, there's a way you could do that might be okay, because I think they explained it in one comic run where it was it's the US's most recent experiments on the super soldier serum. I don't remember what run that was. That could be fun. However, this is the third, fourth, fifth bazillionth time that we've had a super soldier serum be a part of the plot and a Captain America thing. I'm tired of that. Can we just stop? But I mean, Red Hulk also has like, and I did some research on this because I was curious.
Yeah.
Also has like Hulk.
He's like a very different Hulk compared to
cosmic wave, some kind of space bullshit.
There's various different versions of Red Hulk too. So this is what I think. I should have mentioned this in the video, but it's a small thing that won't matter anyway. What if it actually is a decent crime thriller movie, and then it gets to the end of the movie where it's just a CGI mash battle of Red Hulk trying to fight them? That would feel kind of like,
that right there is what's going to be a problem with this movie.
Yes,
we see. As long as they make Red Hulk mega, I'm happy. That's what I think they're gonna. This is a Disney movie. With them not being able to stay away from January 6th, I have a
Captain America great again.
Get off my plane. I'd almost think that they would go. I could see marketing come out.
Yeah,
that the president was tailored and made to be a stand-in for Trump, and then making Red Hulk. And I that's where
white male rage smash.
I want to go to the comments really quickly.
Protect the patriarchy.
Sorry, let me make sure this is bigger, like my wife likes it.
That's why Tyrone keeps showing up.
Red Hulk, you're not Steve Rogers. Red Hulk, you're not Steve Rogers. Sam, my real name's Clarence.
Huh?
It's because Clarence, he was in the 8 Mile movie. He was the guy that Eminem beat in the
rap battle. I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, Clarence is Captain America
as an actor. I haven't seen him in anything, well, except for Falcon Winter Soldier, but I like him. I like him as an actor.
Oh, shit.
I hope he actually gets a chance.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. The ratio on this it's not that bad. That's fine.
Okay. I mean, that's actually surprising for a Marvel thing, for Marvel project. That's kind of shocking.
It's crazy the difference a mustache can make, right? It's all in the mustache. You're not Steve Rogers, and you're not Bruce Banner.
Hey, who said that?
Yeah, you should have told him that. Like, fuck off, bastard.
Oh, I forgot Gus Fring was in
vibes. Not a single lame joke in the trailer. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It seems to you. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, it is possible.
Again,
true. There was none of that jokey humor in this. I will say that. Okay.
It actually took itself seriously, even if the CG was really obvious.
Weird. Ross, bro thinks he's Captain America. Sam, bro thinks he's Hulk. Okay. Oh God, Anthony Mackie plus Harrison Ford. Oh God.
That's a good one.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Why isn't that the top? Is that the top vote? Like, is that the top voted comment on here so far?
That should be the top voted comment.
It should be.
Top voted one is "You're not Steve Rogers." You're right. I'm not. Just the straight burn.
No, I think it's sorted by time.
Yeah, it was kind of lazy.
Oh yeah,
but...
that was actually pretty good. I will give him
that was a good one.
Blah 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 blah. He shined in the TV show, and he also starred in Altered Carbon. I hope this really elevates him.
I was not really a fan of Altered Carbon.
This guy's an Avenger. His real name's Clarence. Get me the president, sir. You are the president. Good. So I already know everything. Okay.
That a Blazing Saddles reference?
Oh God, it's amazing what shaving off a mustache does to change a person's features.
I mean, I'm kind of actually excited to see Harrison Ford still have energy.
You're not Green Hulk. You're right. I'm not. Okay. All right. Sam Wilson will always be the Falcon to me. Yeah.
He was better. He was better as Falcon. He's better as a backup.
Since you fanboys want Steve Rogers so much, they should bring his old Biden ass back from the Avengers Endgame.
Wrong. Do not want Steve Rogers. I want a Sam Wilson who is actually a good character.
Well, yeah, better chance of black people paying for their own shit and not be on EBT or welfare.
You said it, not me.
I was being serious, honestly. But it's crazy. That's the movie. I don't give a fuck. Thunderbolts coming out.
I forgot about that. Jeez.
I was intentionally trying.
That will have Wyatt Russell in there, but it's like I don't know if he can save that movie. What the fuck's that going to be?
Well, he's gonna be a joke. He's going to be a joke. And that's the unfortunate part about it. You got a 3-time Congressional Medal of Honor winner, a man nobody has 3 Congressional Medals of Honor, and he is all for all intents and purposes like a perfect soldier. But they don't lean into that. He is incompetent. He is short. Has a short fuse. He's an asshole, and he's not. But he's not. He's put into ridiculous situations. The writers made him that way. And that's what makes it so irritating. Well, because he's a white man. He's a white man he was in the military, and this activist writer can't help himself. And you have everything. And I don't. And I have military members in my family, and some of them are dumb, but some of them are really great people. But you don't minimize their accomplishments. But that's what the show did. It made me really, really angry because you think a guy with 3 Congressional Medals of Honor, he's a heroic person. He needs an opportunity to be heroic instead of just putting together a shield of cardboard at the end and doing fuck all. And you're not honoring the characters properly. And if you want to have him have weaknesses, fine, but you got to actually write it in such a way where it makes sense. And you actually got to like the guy. You got to see the most emotional part. The most interesting aspect, the saddest part of it, watching his best friend die. He has every reason to go after the terrorists and want them dead. They killed him. So of course he wants revenge. He has every right to kill these people because they are infected with super soldier serum. They are a danger they have access to it. Even if that one guy wasn't, he has access to it. He's a terrorist. He burns people alive. He has every reason to kill it, but they treated it like it's a big police brutality killing. No, he had every reason to kill this motherfucker. He just watched him kill his friends. Fuck these people. Why are you sitting for terrorists? I'm just
we had said that back when the show came out. We were like, this guy did nothing wrong. People sort of murdered his best friend, and they're just they demoted him. He wasn't Captain America anymore. He's just trying to do the U.S. agent. That's gonna definitely drive some politics home for some people. He's gonna be the U.S. agent.
They're gonna lean into it. They're gonna
I hope into it. I told people before, hope they don't, because I don't think everything not just has a political message to it. It's more like the subliminal. What's the word? subliminal messaging that goes along with it. John did nothing wrong. Right. Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong at all.
Subliminal. It's just straight there. It's just straight up. Because they're competent.
That's the problem with a lot of the modern movies is the aspect that it's just right on the nose, right out there in front, where movies that at least made you think that was subliminal, kind of not focused on, but the messaging's there that you just don't notice. Those movies are fine. I mean, that's what classic Star Trek was. It was using that type of pushing social messaging, but doing it in such a way that you're not walking away going, oh, well, that clearly was just an episode about racism. Oh, that episode clearly was just about war. No, it was done in such a way. No, war. I know horrors on your mind.
Wars are started by whores.
Well, the Trojan War, sure.
Yeah.
Now that's a Fallout game worth playing. Horror never changes.
Horror. No, because I remember that Planet of the Apes movie that came out, the third one. It kept saying war. In my mind, it kept saying whore. I was like, the ads were just one second out. Whore. I was like, what the fuck?
At least with the Trojan War, the Trojans won because I mean their condoms are all over the place now.
Nah, no one's buying Spartan condoms, but
they're buying Trojans.
That's funny. Yep, you're right. You're right. Daxonar, nuance is the key.
True, and I feel
you got to make universal themes.
Yeah.
You can't. You got to.
I feel like the political messaging for movies, it used to be just subliminal, and it would also tie in to how the world would work. Now things are just kind of like you don't get any balance anymore. It's either so subliminal or it's just too in your face, as you guys said. It's really no balance on it, honestly, at all. Just sad.
Well, think about what all it boils down to is all of it now just boils down to this absurd point that nobody's actually making is racism bad. Literally nobody believes that racism is good, you fucker. And I'm so tired of Hollywood patting themselves on the back and jerking themselves off and thinking that they've done their good deed for the day by saying racism is bad. Yeah, we fucking know. But how about tackle but the thing is they won't, but they will fully embrace racism from one side of the aisle, but while at the same time condemning racism from the other side of the aisle, which most of it is just projecting dog whistles or whatever. Because as someone who is conservative, in case you couldn't tell, I get called racist all the fucking time by simply pointing out discrepancies between how usually the left accounts for racism and the right accounts for racism. The right's usually like a lot of it trying to ask tough questions. People like Thomas Sowell and people like Chad Jackson are saying, and I'm just not to completely derail the conversation, but this is kind of, but they make the case that a lot of degeneracy, especially in Black culture, it comes from the culture. It doesn't come from any outside forces. It comes from inside out. I mean, there are other deciding factors to it than just white man oppressor, because they actually make the case, and rather well, that they're that actually what a lot of what Black culture has devolved into, and this is not me saying this, I'm quoting other people. It's endless victimhood mentality. I cannot get ahead because Whitey has kept me down.
That's why I don't like Black people. Really, they're the worst race on the planet.
That's a bad example. But that bleeds into Disney. That
a lot of people think
Hollywood.
A good amount of the it's like ones that do a lot of the crime and live in the really bad neighborhoods, they think that. They're like, I mean, it's not untrue. What people don't like is that what people generally don't like. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. The problem is that you brought it up. The problem that we're even having that discussion is the problem. It's like, well, it should just be known that this is happening. And if you don't agree with it, then what the wait, no. Life is about having discussions and trying to understand how you came to that conclusion. Having a mindset where we shouldn't talk about it because it's already set. It should be this way. It's stupid. Conflict, contrary to popular belief, some conflict is good. Conflict is how we got things where we did get them where we're good. Huh? And now no conflict is how we got things is bad. I'm just saying, it feels like no one can bring up it's like the whole, the girl topics I bring up. It feels like back in we could not bring those up before because it's like, well, what you didn't agree with this stance already? It's like, no, I have my own thoughts and I think about things in my own way. Like, what the fuck? Of course, I just think what you thought and just agreed with it without any way of thinking like, okay, why does it come to this way? Why is it this way? Just in general, I think people, for some reason, don't want to have these topics brought up because, I don't know, it maybe challenges their viewpoints, or they were so far led on to believe it was true that they can't even fathom it being not true, that they'd rather just protect the lie in their brain. That's what I think a lot of people do. They probably know it's not true, but they've been hearing it so much throughout their life. They've been told it's true. So rather just challenge it. Be like, hey, why are things this way? They'd rather just believe it. But what do I know? I'm a racist black man who will never date Shaniquas that I'll have real hairs.
Ever. I mean, let's be completely clear here. The type of societal ills that modern Hollywood attacks are not any that exist anymore. When they're not, they don't. I'm sorry, WZ. They're, yes, racists might disagree, but racists really don't exist anymore the way Hollywood portrays them. The actual racisms that exist now are primarily from people in Hollywood, because this is literally their mentality. Oh, you don't know how oppressed you are. You need my help to drag you out of the mire. You need me, you lowly black person. You need me, the appointed white woman of Instagram, to pluck you out of your hellhole and not even do that. Shine a light on your plight. Oh, that's my good deed for the day. Now I'm gonna go up to Jeffrey Epstein's island. It's just lowest effort goodwill but nobody's willing to actually have legitimate conversations about what does racism look like in our current era. It's not that. It is not someone pointing to a sign that says no blacks allowed. Those don't exist anymore. It's against federal law. People talk about like redlining, also against federal law. People talk about this is stuff that keeps getting brought up by politicians. They're bringing up fights that don't exist anymore. That is against federal law to do. Then yes, and if there are people who are redlining or having banks giving out certain I'm just pulling this from the headlines. Banks giving out certain loans to people of certain high interest rate loans to people of color versus white people. That's wrong if that's all your qualifications are. But that's rarely the case. There's never that kind of blatant racism does not exist anymore, and it hasn't existed since the 50s. Probably even then, for the last half century, it has not existed. It does not exist anymore.
Since Hollywood has controlled a lot of like how people see film and movies or whatever have you. Well, you gotta factor in they have their own agendas to push, like news stations do. I don't think people don't understand this. They have did good in the past, and people have acknowledged when they did good, right? Even if you disagree or don't agree, they at some point Hollywood did do good stuff, right? But they've always had rotating people out, controlling certain companies and organizations to push whatever they want people to feel and see. It's just how it works. Why do you guys think the news stations didn't, I don't know, break these stories about why the virus wasn't all what it was? Because they were told not to, because they don't get paid. It's pretty apparent why these things happen the way they are. People are just more open to calling it out now, obviously. Because
that also has a lot to do with the fact that even local news stations are all owned by a major company that is nationwide. They're not independent stations anymore.
Is Nationwide on your side?
That's the reason why you can take those clips, and we've seen them already on YouTube. You start with one clip and they're saying something, and then they go to another clip and they're saying the exact same thing and the exact same thing, and they're all because they're all being fed the local news is being all fed the same script from their corporate overlords higher up. And that's why they didn't talk about it. There's why there is no real investigations into things. There's no breaking news on local events and stuff like that, because they're not allowed to.
And nobody cares anymore, because especially the everybody's trust in establishments and in the establishment, in media, in Hollywood, in entertainment in general, it's gone. Nobody gives a damn about what these Hollywoodites say anymore. Nobody gives a damn about what's on the news anymore, unless it directly affects them. And that's not our fault for choosing to ignore it. That is their fault for violating our trust so often. That is their fault for telling us that we're dirty, rotten racists for not listening to them. It's like, I don't care. Go away.
I honestly never thought that I would live to a day when I hear the left talking about you should trust the government, that you should do whatever the government tells you. You should obey these elected officials, supporting big pharma, supporting war. I never thought I'd live long enough to see the day when the left is doing all these things.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when George W. Bush was the warmonger who got us into all these foreign wars. Like, I'm sorry, how many have appeared since your guys have been in power? The thing is, it's not even a Republican versus Democrat thing. They're both sides to the same totalitarian coin. They are both statists. They are both statists. So it doesn't, but it just depends on how they're using the powers, on which core issues they're using the power of the state to enforce. It's wrong either way. Give federalism forever, please, and cap forever.
Well, we'll use, because you brought up George W. Bush. Let's bring up the Iraq War. The left, Hillary Clinton, all of them are out there going, "This is wrong. We shouldn't be there."
At first,
what was?
Now
first
they were like, "Yeah, it's war."
The resolution of war that passed through Congress passed 100% for both Democrats and Republicans, and the Senate passed 99-1.
Kind of insane, yeah.
So, and then all of a sudden, well, now it looks like polling wise, this isn't a good idea. We should. Oh, he's a war criminal. Oh, he's doing bad. You voted for this. You were all on board on this. So don't sit here and act like you're going to try to rewrite history that you've always been opposed to it. You're just as warmongering as Bush. I still, when it comes to the invasion of Iraq, I always saw it as this, because his dad, he had the first Gulf War, right?
Yeah.
Pushing Saddam back in after going into Kuwait. I always saw George W. Bush, when they got Saddam, going him, daddy, look what I got that you couldn't do, daddy. I got Saddam and you didn't. Because actually George Herbert Walker Bush actually wanted to continue the fight into Iraq, but the coalition of allies that he put together to get them out of Kuwait said no. He wanted to continue persecuting the war into Iraq, and everyone that had signed on to push them out of Kuwait backed off and said, no, he's back in his own country. We're done.
Yeah, because that was the point of it.
That was the point of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, these are topics that we're talking about: authoritarianism versus freedom. We're talking about how far does a war go? How far is too far when it comes to accomplishing your objectives? What does that look like? Would it have been more advantageous to maybe press your advantage a little bit and press your advantage a little bit to accomplish a goal further down the line, so future generations might not have to deal with that? Or do you stop where you are, accomplish your goal, and then maybe, I don't know. These are interesting topics that could be brought up and could be approached by competent writers willing to tackle it, and with the intelligence to be able to approach it with any kind of nuance. Because here's the thing, especially in politics, and especially in any kind of clashes between peoples, between disparate elements of a society anywhere, there may not necessarily be a good side and a bad side. There may not necessarily be a right
side
and
in
wrong.
general. Just might be the state of the situation.
Well, with one exception. If you're trying to lop the perfectly functional private body part off of children, then you are a piece of shit and you should be strung up by your entrails. Yeah. But that's one thing. That's one thing that, like, no, that is a hard line. There is a good and evil with that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there are lines.
You got to draw lines at those kind of things. Yeah.
But most everything else is pretty gray, especially when it comes to politics, especially when it comes to war. Something that, like, Captain America might be able to tackle correctly, because one of the no, I'm not even kidding. Like, because something that they touched on barely, which is another reason why Falcon Winter Soldier was such ass cancer, was because they had an opportunity to show us what exactly the world looked like right after the snap. Right after everybody came back. What does that do to the world? But they didn't bother to think ahead. They didn't bother to actually
anything.
They still haven't. It's been 5 years, for God's sake. Like it's been more time has passed since Endgame release. Like we are past the time where Endgame takes place. We know nothing about the world at that point, and Captain America could have brought up some interesting aspects of, well, what does America's place look like in this new world? I doubt they're ever gonna. I doubt, and it seems like they're kind of gonna. They might bleed into that a little bit with this movie, but those could be some kind of thought-provoking, interesting questions to ask. But you have to have people who understand it. Like Bo Willimon, the guy who wrote House of Cards and the first season of Andor, would have been a perfect writer for that, because he is great at being able to break down those different ideas, maybe these different ideas, and embody them within their characters. If you watch the first 2 seasons of House of Cards, he accomplishes that brilliantly. Same thing with Andor. Like he has the intelligence, and he has the worldly knowledge, the worldly know-how to be able to do that in a way that's believable. But modern Hollywood writers don't live a life of believability anymore. They live a life sheltered in their little bubble where they've never done a day's work in their life. They've never lived in the world. They don't know how it works. But therefore, and because they don't know how it works, their imaginations cannot run wild. They cannot fathom a world where everything is not black and white, whereas there is left and leftier, and there is wrong.
Oh, just people
can't fathom
Twitter. We're on Twitter. There was a game that's coming out. I forgot what it was, but the tweets got deleted because this was the same lady talking about her getting her period and telling it to other women is because of experience and all that gay shit. She had said, remember she made this tweet? I think Grums docked it. She had literally said word for word, I can't wait till gamers find out how many non-straight white males are a part of this game out of 10.
Oh yeah, was it
yeah. I forgot her name. Holy shit.
It was, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, they hire people that, even if the final product never turns out as bad or maybe as bad as people think, the people that are in charge that they hire to tweet and interact with people, they sure don't put good hope into you thinking it's going to be a quality piece of entertainment. I'm saying, like, the people that they hire have put out some of the worst damn interviews I think I've seen in years. Yeah. One of the guys, the Acolyte one, remember it was Leslie Headland in that ape, that lady that's trying to be an actress, whatever the fuck her name is, I don't care. Remember the interviewer, I think it's from, I forgot what media was from. The interview was like, well, yeah, some nerds fear gay people, after he had asked her, is Star Wars gay? Remember the interviewer's asking that, he's like, some nerds fear gay people. What the fuck? It's Jover. Oh god. By the way, Strider, check the Strider's mine.
Oh, okay, I'll take it.
Oh my god. Damn,
over me. This is new. But I'll look here in a second, Nate.
That's fine.
But that just goes back to what I was saying before. They create these straw men to hate. They create these people. They create these people that do not exist. And maybe they may exist in a teeny tiny fraction of the population. Gamers are the most, and gamers and really Star Wars nerds are one of the most diverse people ever. That your barrier for entry for Star Wars is, do you like Star Wars? Yeah. Okay, great. Let's go play Star Wars. Let's go play with our action figures. Let's go play lightsabers. Let's go play X-Wing versus TIE Fighter together because you love the property. Now it's like, do you love Star Wars? Which part? But now
you told me to start digging into like legend stuff. So last night I bought Star Wars: The New Republic Volume 1, which takes place after the Republic movie. Fucking hell, Return of the Jedi. I bought the book that comes after Return of the Jedi. So I bought my first Legends material, and then I'm going to try and make sure I do things a little bit in order. So I bought a Darth Vader Epic Collection that takes place after Revenge of the Sith. I probably should get that one first and read that one first, so it's a little bit more immersive after what had happened to him.
I heard it was good. That is a Disney Star Wars era that apparently is decent, even if it does introduce a character with a lesbian.
They ain't giving a fuck about comics, so they just put.
But that's the thing. Apparently, it's pretty good, and they still could not help themselves introducing a gay character because she's gay, and she is actually interesting in and of itself, but they made her gay for some reason, like the most least interesting thing about anybody. Exactly. Battlefront 2. I could actually sit down You should sit down and enjoy something with these with people, even if yes, I know Legends lore was contradictory. Yeah, so fucking what? So fucking what? Disney did one thing that Legends never did is they never nerfed lightsabers. Lightsabers were fatal. That you didn't have a child get stabbed in the face by a lightsaber and survive. You don't have that child grow up to be an adult being stabbed by a lightsaber again and survive. You don't have that in Legends. That alone is what means that Legends is better than Disney Wars can ever concoct.
Disney Wars.
The book
the WZ,
series.
No, the gay part does not matter, but then why insert it? That's the point. That's the point. If it doesn't matter so much, then why put so much effort into it?
That's what I said too. If it doesn't, it's a two-way thing. Why is it there in general if it's not supposed to really be a thing that it's supposed to impact the story? You know,
like she is a sick, like I'm talking about Dr. Afra. She's kind of a sick, twisted bitch. She's kind of horrible, but she's interesting. She's kind of like a Dr.
A gay character being a sick, twisted bitch.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. She is interesting enough on her own. You don't need to make her gay. That just adds an element that it's nonsensical. It doesn't need to be there. Like, and I don't know. And there've been gay characters on Legends before. It's fine. Again, you can't have it both ways. Either it matters a lot or it matters very little. So which is it? We can't. So I'm allowed to not like it because I see.
It's like the whole racing swap thing with Little Mermaid. It's like, if race isn't the biggest part of this character, why are we changing it to begin with, though? You always ask, like, why are we changing it then? I really I don't get the change, though. You know, sometimes change is good for certain things, but when it's things like that, you're just like, why? That means you have to understand the company's the racist one because they didn't like her race to begin with to change it. But then again, you never know.
Well, there's a good book series to read, and that's the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn. For the longest time, we actually thought, back before the prequel came out, when they announced a new trilogy, a lot of people were speculating that that book series was being adapted for 7, 8, and 9.
No, we got Dave Filoni to butcher that and turn Thrawn into a complete cope machine.
Yeah, right now.
And even the Jedi Academy trilogy was pretty great too, with the Sun Crusher and Admiral Daala. It was pretty sick. And then and the X-Wing novels are pretty awesome too, which we almost got that for a Rogue Squadron movie brought to you by Patty Jenkins, who grew up on a fighter base watching her dad fly fighter planes. So this would have been Top Gun with X-Wings. And I've been begging for a movie like that for ages. And then all of a sudden Kathleen Kennedy does the stupid thing because that's what she always does and say, no, we're not going to do that anymore. Why the fuck not? Like that would be printing money tomorrow. Everybody wants to see that.
You got
I could just see clipping that of X-Wings taking off, dogfighting, and having Highway to the Danger Zone playing.
That would be cool, or something similar to it. How cool would that be? Like, just do Top Gun with X-Wings. It is the easiest thing.
Hardcore Star Wars fans, in my opinion, have always been miserable. They've been hating damn near everything Star Wars media related since the late 90s. Hey, if I had watched Star Wars back in the day when the prequels came out, I would have not liked them either. They are not just a step down in quality compared to the previous ones. They're just not good. I really fail to understand what is good about them. Like, Liam Neeson straight up carries that first movie. If he's not in it, that movie's bad. Like, legitimately bad.
I still like Phantom Menace. I still like the prequels. I'm sorry.
Disagreement.
Anyway, it's my show now.
I want to know
welcome to the MSK's new Star Wars prequel show. Sorry.
Hello.
I want to know what MSK's hatred of knowing about the politics of the galaxy in a movie. There's nothing wrong with the trade contracts and
it was necessary to. And I don't want to get into this, but it makes more sense to know that because you have to know how Palpatine came to power.
You're right. It's the grounds for
you do have to know that.
Yes.
That part didn't get me. It was the fact that it was boring. The way they were explaining it.
Indeed.
Because
it would always be we're doing this now, Senator. Now
You could have made it way less
forward.
complicated, that's for sure.
God, it
Well,
was just boring, man.
Because during the prequels, George Lucas had all around him yes men.
True.
He did
None of
not
us really
have
asked, yeah.
like during the original trilogy, didn't have the his ex-wife editing the original Star Wars.
Or
Well,
Gary
no, that's
Kurtz.
the case.
Yeah, Gary
Didn't
Kurtz was
have
not a
Gary
producer.
Kurtzman. He didn't have those people that would say, you know, George, that doesn't make any sense, or George, maybe we should take it in this direction a little bit, and kind of constrained him a little bit better. Nope, the prequels, it was all George Lucas.
Yep.
So for me, his comments on like the kids movie things, well, it's just for kids. I've always hated that take where people be like, well, it's just for kids. That just means that the media can just be just whatever. That is the exact reason why the kids' media has been polluted with dog shit, because people have that exact mindset. Well, it's for kids. What's that supposed to mean? If it's for so that means just because it's for kids, that it could just be complete dog shit without anything good at all, despite there being many great, so quote unquote, kids related products that have been very good, that have been honestly considered some of the best material ever made. I have never understood people that argument. I just never did it. I've just never in my mind got to the point where just because it's for kids, that automatically means by default it should just be bad. Like, what? That's so stupid. That's just so strip that argument down to the base of it. Because it's for kids, it means it automatically it could just be whatever. Bad, good, masterpiece, average, whatever adjective you want to use for yourself. That's bad. That means someone could just come in, write a kid's movie full of horse shit, full of all this weird stuff going on now, but you wouldn't care because it's just for kids. That's bad. That's the reason why people now are like, I don't know if I'm taking my kids to see this. You should care what your kids are seeing. I agree with that. But just because it's a kid movie doesn't automatically mean it should just have bad writing or bad plot or anything. Come on.
The people who make that argument did not grow up in the 80s and 90s. We were fucking scarred by our kids' movies. We had movies like Brave Little Toaster. We had movies like All Dogs Go to Heaven. We had even the Pebble and the Penguin, another Don Bluth one. That's kind of scary for kids.
And people like
Never-ending Story with a horse dying in a fucking swamp. Like we had brutal kids movies growing up, but we're fine. Secret of Nim, for God's sake, pretty much everything Don Bluth touches. That guy has a demons.
Batman,
but like
the animated series was on
Batman
Fox
animated series,
Kids.
yes.
The network quite literally was Fox Kids.
Like the Batman 89, Tim Burton Batman 89 films.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could by today's standards,
PG-13,
like Batman Returns is kind of creepy. Yeah. There's tons of movies that were made for kids, or at least somewhat kid friendly. Means they didn't have the excess language and nudity and just people's brains. It wasn't Predator, it wasn't Alien, but still.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the kids should have like people having like orgies or any of that nasty shit in there for their movies, but like that's the people understand that's the reason why kids movies got to the point where people are pointing out, well, this is kind of weird in a kids movie. Yes, because people have been neglecting them, so you just let any doggone person just write a kids movie. How about you let that how about let Max Visaggio write a kids movie then? I mean, it's just for kids, it doesn't fucking matter, right? It's kids, sure, fuck it, right? No,
kids chop up your bits.
I just never understood that. Just because it's for kids doesn't automatically mean it should be bad or good. It's just we should treat the material like it's a proper material.
In all actuality, though, it really sounds more like it's like a cope mechanism.
It is.
That's all it is. Is anytime there's criticism, we'll use Star Wars as an example in the prequels. Him saying that is a cope because Jar Jar Binks was a shit character. Oh, but don't take it seriously. It's a kid.
I didn't mind him. I still like him.
Oh, we's gonna die. I'm not exactly a big, and you really,
a lot of people don't, but I didn't mind him as much. I never did.
You want to know what? We have the Emperor because of Jar Jar Binks. We have the clone army because of Jar Jar Binks.
Well, if it wasn't Jar Jar, it would have been somebody else because the Emperor, that's how the Emperor works. But but Padme hoisted herself by her own petard by having him be like her replacement. And I kind of would have loved to see.
When someone says it's for kids, it's their way to basically for me, it's their way to basically downplay the entertainment. Because remember, keep in mind, that's the same argument people use with cartoons. People say, "Oh, it's just a cartoon; it's just for kids." That's the same argument. It's just worded differently. It's the same thing.
Kids went and saw Avengers Infinity War. Kids went and saw Avengers Endgame.
I like the theory
Right?
that Jar Jar actually was a Sith Lord.
You're insane.
It's funny because Lego actually leaned into that and
Yep.
made like a Lego game, Lego series where it's like, this is all the dark side stuff. These are all our fan theories about all these weird stuff. They're coming to fruition in a multiversal story. It's Star Wars. Fuck you, Disney.
Multiverses are lazy, as clearly spelled out by South Park.
To play devil's advocate here, it's probably this is for kids, therefore the budget is tighter and writing deadlines is much shorter. We have an idea and you print it, no revisions. No. That would be like the business side of it. I'm talking about the actual. I'm talking about the notion that basically any movie, TV show, anime, comic book, that the notion is just because it's for kids automatically means that you just treat it as that. It's just, it could be good, bad, whatever, but it's just for kids. So we should automatically just glance over everything about it.
Well,
It's like
for kids doesn't have to mean childish. That's what it means. Because when people describe something as just for kids, it means it's childish and stupid.
It's like, I don't even know which age we're talking about too.
I don't know either. The thing is, again, we grew up. I grew up in the era where Jurassic fucking Park was a kids movie. The T-Rex was the stuff of my nightmares until young adulthood. Seriously, I was like 22 until I stopped dreaming about the T-Rex. Like I would have. I'm not kidding.
Jaws PG? I could have swore Jaws was PG.
Jaws was. I think Jaws was PG because that was before.
That's supposed to be for kids. Jaws. That shark is eating that man.
It's not for kids. It's not for kids, but kids could go see it without. I mean, actually, was Jaws R?
Was it PG-13?
I feel like it would have been R. PG-13 was invented. It came around Last Crusade,
later.
Not Last Crusade. Temple of Doom. It came later. But the thing is, it doesn't mean it has to be childish, because again, we grew up. Like, I think Nate mentioned previously in the chat, Balto.
Oh, my bad.
That's a kid's movie.
Originally, it had this thing called A certificate. It was meant not suitable for younger children. Later, it was certified as PG for the VHS and DVD releases. So Jaws was later on considered a PG movie. That movie has a shark literally eating people.
Not on screen though. It's not like
allegedly.
It's not like it's
okay. The last scene he ate that guy.
The
very last scene he ate that guy. That guy dead.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
The very last scene.
There's blood. That was pretty brutal. Which is kind of interesting. That's like, isn't that the first one of the only really violent deaths we see occur above water?
I think so.
Yeah, everything else is obscured by water and blood, right? Because the first lady gets pulled down, and then you got the kids dying.
Yeah.
And that one's like, oh god.
Oh. Yeah, PG-13.
American Tail, American Tail. Pretty much everything DreamWorks Animation touched was nuts. Yeah, I love the American Tail movies. And actually, as a kid, my mom would make me fast forward the first one because there's like the sea monster comes up and washes them off.
4 years ago. If Jaws were released today, do you think it would be rated PG-13 or rated R?
13.
13. Yeah.
You know what? That's a good question because R now is not like R like it usually was, because some PG-13 films like in the early aughts. Well, in PG-13 films, in the early aughts, you were allowed one F word, and you could see some boobs. Even in PG movies as far back to the 70s and 80s, you could still see boobs. So
PG-13, 1997 Titanic.
Yes, correct.
And I would say there was a little bit of nudity.
A little bit. I wasn't complaining. I fucking hated that movie.
No, not complaining. But
Kate Blanchett naked is always a good time.
Who?
Kate Blanchett?
No, that wasn't Rose. Titanic?
Why did I say Kate Blanchett?
I don't know.
Winslet. Winslet. I'm sorry, Winslet. Yeah. I wasn't even
took me off guard on that one for a second.
I don't think Kate Blanchett's been nude in anything.
Yeah, I don't
right.
So clearly, we all
Kate Blanchett's not been nude in anything. Kate Winslet nude in something is perfectly fine. It makes a good movie.
So now we all know that Strider desperately wants to see Kate Blanchett topless.
Nah, I'm good. I don't. I prefer Galadriel to remain her elvish, her pure elvish self. Even though she's been in like
tell me this is for kids.
20 years.
This is Jaws' description, because eventually I'm going to review these movies anyway. This Jaws franchise. Come on. At the time of its release, Jaws was considered a suspenseful thriller with some intense and scary scenes, but it did not contain the level of graphic violence or explicit content that would have warranted an R rating. The PG rating allowed for parental guidance, suggesting that some material may not be suitable for children, but it did not restrict younger viewers from watching the film as long as they were accompanied by an adult. That's PG-13, relatively speaking, essentially.
I mean, they would make you. I mean, the theater would make you. The theater would make sure if there are any kids trying to show up, they'd have to be accompanied by an adult.
Okay, well, so here's a little bit of history on PG-13.
In my butt.
PG-13 did not exist until 1984.
1984, it's true.
So
and it was not.
The key films were Poltergeist, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, and Gremlins.
Gremlins, really? Well, Gremlins is actually considered a horror movie for kids, which horror movies you don't really think of as for kids. But I actually saw Gremlins for the first time. I kind of loved it. Kind of hated it. It's kind of gross, but I would not have liked this as a kid. But like, you made horror movies for kids. How did you? I don't know, but it's just this the culture back then. We actually kind of had balls as a culture back then. We weren't afraid to show kids scary stuff. We didn't coddle them as much as we do.
The later paragraph is: it's worth noting that the standards for film ratings have evolved over the years, and that was considered acceptable for a PG rating in the 1970s may not necessarily align with the current rating guidelines. Which would obviously make sense because they've changed.
Which is interesting because like the new Star Wars films or Disney Wars films, they are not PG-13. They are PG. There was more. We see dismemberments in the original trilogy. There's no reason why they should be PG-13. Absolutely none. But PG carries with it a childish sentiment because what's typically rated PG? Christian films and Disney Pixar films. That's it.
Most animated.
Mostly animated. There's not, or like family friendly, which means childish. There's no in between anymore. So it's just kind of weird how things have altered. I don't like it. I don't like how coddled kids are because kids can withstand a lot more than you think.
Are you afraid of the dark? Yeah.
Yeah. Afraid of the dark. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They used to make horror for kids. Do they make horror now? No. If it is horror, it's like, I mean, I don't know. Depends on what era of Hollywood you're in, but like it's just weird that culture has become so sanitized now. But honestly, I'll go see and support a movie if it has copious amounts of boobs and blood in it.
Whoa!
What?
This is odd. So I just pulled up. I'm pulling up Gremlins, and the original rating for Gremlins actually was it is. It's PG.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gremlins is actually PG.
Anyone that uses that for kids argument is just stupid.
The thing is, it's just the way that the definition has evolved. But again, because something is for kids, it doesn't mean it has to be childish. Jurassic Park is not for kids, but it's rated PG. Yet kids love it because it has dinosaurs. Yeah, but it actually has plenty for the adults to engage in too. You know, Jeff Goldblum's iconic line talking about the interference of man in science. Well, kids aren't going to get that. They're going to see the dinosaurs chomping on people and be like, "Yay, dinosaurs!"
And you want to know what? That actually Jurassic Park and Jeff's Goldblum's lines during the little meal scene actually is applicable today when it comes to AI. Your scientists were so concerned if they could do it, they never stopped to think, should we do it?
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't apply to AI. That's an argument that it can apply to everything.
Yeah, that's
it's like
true.
Before the key is before he. And I love that scene. That is a fantastically directed scene. God bless you, Spielberg. Because the whole discussion is the key part is before you even knew what you had, you slapped it on a lunchbox, you slapped it on a teacher, and you just sell it. You didn't even think about the ramifications of what you discovered, and that is scientific hubris in a nutshell. That right there, but that's not just for scientists. That's for people in general. Our hubris knows no bounds, not just for science. We don't think about the consequences nearly as much as we should. And that's the central theme of Jurassic Park. And that's what you get everybody's perspective, and you don't really know who to believe because they're all right. They're all wrong in a way, but their perspectives are very much in line with who they are as characters, but they're all correct. So it's left up to you as the audience. Well, what's going to happen now? We got a whole 2 hours of film left. what's going to happen? Who's going to be right? Is everything going to go to shit like like Ian Malcolm describes? Yes, it does in one way, but another way, nature, life finds a way. It creates a new balance, a new natural order within the island, thanks to mankind's interference. Same thing Ali Sadler said. We have mankind and dinosaurs separated by like millions of years. Who knows? God knows what it's gonna look like whenever they come back together, and we have no idea what that's gonna look like. And then Alan Grant, it takes the more middle ground approach, be like, it's gonna be bad. We have no idea, but it's not gonna be good. And we see that play out in the film, and it's a brilliant script. It's one of my favorite films.
I brought you out here to defend me against these people, and the only person I got on my side's a blood-sucking lawyer.
I love that too. And the lawyer's like, absolutely. Let's talk. Let's talk merchandising. And they're like, hell.
Thank you.
God, I love that movie.
Yeah,
perfect movie in my opinion. There's not a single flaw with it.
I'm just looking at this hot girl.
Oh, aren't we all?
She has a lot of boobs.
Kate Winslet?
3 of them?
Huh. Interesting.
Watching Total Recall?
yeah. In the fucking Jurassic Park, the first movie, the T-Rex comes out and just straight up eats a guy, throws him up in the air, and just swallows him whole. Yeah, that is
large. A lot of practical on that, and it holds. Personally, I think it still kind of holds up very well compared to the
T-Rex. The kids were actually scared because they thought the T-Rex was like literally gonna fall on them.
Yeah, that was real.
That's considered one of the best movies ever made, and that was considerably for kids.
Yeah,
people don't call that trash. Oh, the whole I've never liked the whole for kids. It's always been crock of shit. No. It's basically a cop out to be like, well, the movie's bad, but it's for kids, so it's whatever. It's like, okay, so you look down on making movies for kids. You don't care. Well, fuck off. They are so stupid.
You don't have to make them for kids. Just don't make them bloody boob-soaked messes, and you can have a movie that people can enjoy. Because for Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and Superman were basically, if it was scored in Indiana Jones, it was scored by John Williams. It was a thing for us. Like, we watched it with my dad. So go ahead.
I got to respond to Nate. There's a plot in Titanic.
Everybody dies.
I want to be Professor X now in my chair. I can just do this. Charles.
McAvoy or Stewart. It's hard to keep track. I love that. I love that line.
These timelines are so.
Oh, remember the first movie? After that train sequence, the Magneto was there. It's like, you Homo sapiens and your guns. Like, why? Why did his voice have his voice had like extra emphasis on every word? Like, he was really trying. You're like, oh my god, dude. Oh, I loved it. It was so fun.
Oh, you're talking about Ian McKellen?
Yeah.
The third one? Okay, yeah.
He kept saying Charles, and I was like, dude, Charles, can you lick my butthole? Oh god.
Seriously, that man, whenever that man dies, it's going to be a shame.
Bent that dude over to inject the guy's butthole to get iron so she could plug it.
Iron in your blood.
Oh, God. Great movie.
That was also for kids. And you had a half-naked Rebecca Romaine as Mystique, and kids went and saw that.
Oh, she was painted.
She was allegedly naked.
She had prosthetics, and she was painted.
You did not need to exercise a single brain cell to know what was beneath those clothes. And God bless Bryan Singer for that.
Rebecca Romaine's ending to that first film series is so bad. When she loses her powers and he's like, you're not one of us anymore. Like, what a piece of shit.
Like, she just took a bullet for you.
Right, but that fits with the Magneto that they were doing with the movie.
It does, but they could have had him be a little bit more hesitant and struggle with that just a little bit and be like, oh, you. Like, he saw what she did. She took the bullet for him. He has powers because of her. He has the ability to stand above her and sneer at her because of her.
And it's heavily implied, and we know based off First Class, it's heavily implied they had been together, friends for a long time. It's like, damn, you really they've been in each other's company way longer than that. Now, if you had done that with like Juggernaut, who just got introduced in the third one, fine, that would have made sense. But not Mystique. She's
been there right from the beginning.
And then she's nowhere in the movie anymore. She's in some interrogation scene. That's the last time you see her character.
But again, we do get a half naked Rebecca Romaine.
Yep.
With no paint.
Yep, just laying there on the floor.
Thanks, Brett Ratner.
Well, we're gonna wrap up here in a little bit. We had the Horrors Gallery Extended Edition. What should we call it? Rogues Gallery Legends, actually. That's what I should refer to myself now as a legend at this point.
That also implies the existence of a Rogues Gallery canon. I don't like that.
Oh. So do you guys think I'm a legend in the chat? Do you guys think I deserve to have Rogues Gallery OG member stay?
Well, they want to see your poll in the chat. There was an ask for a poll in the chat.
Ask for a poll.
There was an ask for a poll. Yeah, I looking into it. Yeah, even though you gave a bunch of us the higher modding,
the owner of the channel can only make polls.
Only the
right?
owner of the channel can do the poll.
Back in the day when YouTube first started streaming, if you were a mod, you were able to make a poll, or you were able to make a poll on other websites and link it. But they've changed that. Yeah, they changed that. These mods used to be able to make polls. So if Strider went like, "Do you hate MSK? Yes or no?" He can make that as a poll.
Yep.
I did have one out for which is the better film, Tombstone or Wyatt Earp, and I had all 3 of my voters vote Tombstone. Not surprising in the slightest.
I want some kind of poll. You can always have mine. Mine is 9 inches. Oh God, but fucking hell. All right, Emerald, what you got planned coming up besides taking care of all that pussy?
Not really a whole lot.
Why did you run?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why he did that.
Dark is like, I have no idea what's going on.
You can always have mine. 9 inches is good enough for any woman, honestly.
Just kind of kicking back, relaxing, enjoying the weekend. We're looking at another hot weekend, going into another hot week. We definitely are in the dead of summer.
Yep.
It's pretty hot outside.
Half your city is not without power like mine.
What happened, dude?
Hurricane. Category 1 hurricane, and I don't even know. We should have this down to a science by now, for God's sake. But I think Centerpoint just got hit really, really hard because I think they're the main company. They're getting a lot of pushback, and I think they just didn't take advantage of any of the downtime in between rather mild hurricane seasons to beef up the infrastructure or to make proper preparations. And so again, half the city is without power, and it's still gradually coming on bit by bit. But I mean, there's still stoplights that are still flashing red, and so help me God, I've died about half a dozen times, which is not atypical living in Houston. But like, nobody knows of flashing red. Nobody knows how to follow the proper procedure of a 4-way stop. Flashing red lights and irritating. But yeah, Category 1 hurricane. I lucked out actually. I got Texas in Houston. I got power back the day of. So the hurricane came in on Monday, and I lucked out. I was prepared though. I was ready to hold out until the apocalypse came. Like, I had my camp stove, I had my food, I was ready. But I got power back on like 4 p.m. so it was fine. But there are people there are people that I know are still getting it back gradually. Like now, there are people that still don't have
the
it.
Customer service lady, Kara, that we met at the meetup. She had a bad situation. She was
down in Galveston at that time. Bad idea.
Horror movie where like all the entire hall for like no power, nothing. That fucking sucks.
Yeah, and it's Galveston. It's on the coast. It's a hurricane. I mean, everybody expected some kind of damage. But yeah, I mean, I barely slept that night because it was the first hurricane I've ever actually watched come in. Because I've always lived in other parts of Houston where it hasn't been as bad. But this one I was smack dab in the middle of it, and a lot of it the eye of it. I think I last saw was in Katy, which is about half an hour west of where I am. So that they got the most of it. So there's still places in North Houston that are just completely Stone Age, and there's so many restaurants shut down. And there's actually, it's kind of nice. There's a Raising Cane's that's at least has power, but a lot of restaurants are using generator power. But there's utility trucks everywhere. Like, they're working their hardest. I can't really criticize them, but yeah, I'm lucky. I just lost my window had a leak, so I just lost a couple Calvin and Hobbes books on my bookshelf. But I'm glad that was the only thing I lost. But yeah, I mean, I got lucky, but we'll see. Hopefully next time's not as bad.
I forgot, minions have ass cheeks.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
But butts are funny. It's okay. Kids laugh at butts. Banana.
What was that Keanu Thompson girl? That Keanu Thompson girl that Chrissy Merritt has on her show? She's actually pretty attractive.
I met her in Vegas 2 years ago when Chrissy did her comedy show. It was the same time, so it was kind of a running joke that she was actually there as Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah, it was quite humorous.
I was gonna meet her and call her fucking Keanu Reeves' third girlfriend. Oh shit! Oh god! I should have asked Cyborg Superman how he has sex with X-Ray Girl. I'm pretty sure he would have liked that, or beat me up.
Oh my!
Hey! Keep in mind, Mark is former or still active. Yeah, is still active Canadian military. So, you should be afraid. I mean, you know how tough Canadian Army is.
I only said this
used to be.
Back in World War II. Allegedly in Minecraft in my head, right? This was a scenario I made up in my brain that I was never gonna do because I'm a fucking bitch.
No, we're in for it.
Oh god, no, actually, dude, I'll be honest here. I always thought she was single. I didn't know she was married. I'll be honest here. I didn't know that was her husband. I was talking to. I was like, hey, yo, you're And then I found the meetup. He was married to her. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm talking to him. He's like, hey, yo, your wife raps better than Lil Pump. He was like, I don't think she ever raps. I was like, thank God he didn't get that joke. He probably would have just beat me up then. Woof. Whoo. God damn. She said she had been on a date with a black guy. So she asked me, does that count as dating a black guy? I'm like, I don't think so.
She asked you that?
I asked her that.
Okay.
Of course you
did. I would be surprised if she asked you that.
Yeah. Chris Nova was pretty soft when I hugged her. Tiny was really soft when I hugged her. Tiny was a full woman when I hugged her too. Holy crap!
Tiny about broke my ribs. Damn,
right?
Woman.
Right? She was. There's a lot of body on that lady. Huh?
Same thing at the sauce. Same thing at the Saskas. About caved in my chest. Hell of a way to die.
Every one woman is like soft in this group.
Again, that's why Vagabond wants to get that shirt. I'm just here for the hugs.
I actually did. I legitimately thought Selena was single. She had liked my post, and I was like, "Hey, you want to come on and talk?" Because she said she wants to flash with me, and I was like, "Oh, this is when I was, trying to rebuild and look for a new group." Like I said before, happened before. I was like, it was right at the same time I was doing it. So I was like, because I always had bad luck with bringing on girls for stuff, and I was like, okay, I'll give her a chance. She said my husband's in the chat. I'm like, damn it, damn it, and then I was like. He was like, I legit thought she was married to some big giant black dude, like fucking Michael Clark Duncan or something. I was like, holy crap, this guy's gonna beat me up probably. But no, it was just Iron. He's just a short white guy.
It was just Iron. Come on.
Wow.
But yeah, it's because like we've never had problems with bringing on women. They just, I don't know. Women always say they're cool. It's like, yeah, you guys can talk how you want to. They'll come on. They'll be like, oh, we're cool. They'll never come back. So. The women I know now are awesome. They'll come back on and they'll always come back to me. They always love it.
With everybody, you gotta find the ones that you gel with and purge the ones you don't.
That's just Tiny warning people not to try anything. There were so many guys hitting on her in the. If you were there,
really?
We're all three were there. Remember, we were in front of her. There were so many dudes hitting on her. I let it go.
Honestly, I'm surprised I even remember that day. I was so goddamn tired.
Out of his mind.
No, I wasn't. I was so goddamn tired from the 24 hours I had been up at that point. I wasn't even all that drunk. I was just so tired.
Drunk Emerald was like literally outside, like Han Solo, like Han from the Fast and Furious movies, just eating chips, just looking out the void of Vegas. I was like, holy shit, this guy's just. He's literally in his brain right now, having some fun. Are they okay? Tiny had so many dudes hitting on her that night, and she'd probably get that much guy attention. She's always inside.
Tiny, she's adorable.
She's like a good 7 out of 10, I think. I gotta.
Tiny, if you're watching this, I'm not participating in the rating.
That's getting clipped and
I can't give her higher than that.
I will rate women I do not know. I refuse to rate women that I do know.
I rate women I know, and she is a certified.
That's why my head is still firmly attached to my neck for now.
She is a good 7 out of 10. I'm the 9. Comes to this. MSK to James, Riz up Tiny. They talked together more than me.
Who's James?
But James was way too drunk to remember anything.
Oh, your buddy, yeah, the one that kind of vanished.
He vanished, came back. He was like,
so weird.
He said, "Man, I was talking to everybody." He already came up to us. He was like, and we asked him, like, "Dude, you okay? What have you been doing?" He's like, "Man, I've just been talking to everybody." Okay, just went back to. We're like, "Are you drunk?" He's like, "No." As he throwing back on beers. Okay, we asked him, "Are you gonna quit drinking?" He's like, "Sure." And he threw back another one. I was like, "Okay, this man's gone. This man's fucking finished." Dude, I'll be honest. Going out to Vegas was so fun. I wish you could have been there the day before. It was so much fun, man. I can't wait to do it again.
I'm gonna take the whole week next time. That's I'm not gonna drive. I thought about it and I'm like, no, you know what? I prefer to actually have all my time there with people.
Actually,
is it actually yeah. And I'm just hopefully I'm gonna take a direct flight. If I had taken a direct flight, I would have gotten there within like an hour and a half, easily. Well, actually, no, about 3 hours, but still, sooner. But I didn't.
It's a 16-hour drive for me, but I drive it straight through.
I think it's like 18 or 20 for me. So I mean 18, 20 for me because counting like stops.
That's what I told Nathan. People had so many problems with planes. Just drive, man. I'd rather you guys be out there on time in the day.
You can. But that also requires taking time off, and it will. You can think about it with gas, and especially the further west you get, the worse it gets. As I was looking at some of those prices out in Vegas, good God, like I thought I had it bad in Texas, and like Jesus,
that's why the last fill up I did was in Utah.
Yeah, and also I can't drive 18 hours straight, so I'm gonna have to get a hotel room somewhere. It's probably be about $100. You're probably paying just as much to drive out there and to eat and to get gas and to stay at a hotel room than you would just plopping the same amount of money down for a flight that takes 3 hours, getting a cheap hotel room during the whole time. Because seriously, I lucked out with doing the Gold Spire. That was like $60 a night. It was great. That was a perfectly placed hotel. I'm going to do that again, definitely. But everybody stayed there. But yet I hung out with nobody, which is weird. But yeah, I loved it. I will definitely do that again. I won't drive, but I will fly.
I will say everyone does kind of scatter of different places to stay when we're there. That's one thing I've noticed because I stayed at the Stratosphere. No one that was at the meetup at all was.
Yeah, because different prices for people's budgets are different. I understand that.
Yeah,
honestly, I liked the Oasis at Gold Spike. That was pretty
cool. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean the room was not. I've stayed in worse rooms. Let me tell you that, but it was what you'd expect.
Better quality Motel 6.
I probably I would say
or
so.
Best Western.
But I think the worst one I ever stayed at was an OXO that was like, or OX, I don't even know, but it was not cleaned. Yeah. So Nate, when we get closer to it by this time next year, we'll link it, and probably Iron will mention it. But it was cheap. It was great.
After the party for the first night, Jeremy was there and everything. They're like, MSK, are you okay? I was literally dead because that day before, I get up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, get to work at 6. I was so fried. Everyone's out hanging out. We're hanging out to like 2 in the morning. We went to I guess dinner, breakfast, whatever the fuck it was, and then we drove Soldier Spirit back to your Soldier Spirit was at your hotel. Oasis too.
Okay, I don't know.
That's talking. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my God, we were saying some real ultra cringe shit in that car. I was like, "Hey, yo, Soldier, you ever like fucked a black girl?" He was like, "Huh, hello." We were just so tired. We were just saying anything to that man. I think I asked him like, "Hey, you ever like talk to white guys in your free time?" He's like, "What the fuck?"
It's cute. It's cute. You consider waking up at 5 in the morning early. I was up till 2:30 in the morning, and I didn't get to bed that night until 2 in the morning. Which also there was a time change. It was probably even later. I stayed up partying as late as I possibly could, which is actually kind of funny because this always happens. I go to bed, and then I call it a day, and then everybody else follows not long after. Not because they're taking my example, but because I time it perfectly. Because I almost just a little bit ahead of the curve with everybody. And apparently everybody else kind of just went home from Joker's bar at like 3, not long after I went.
That was the day. That was the day you went. They left at 5. I was just not happy.
Did they really? Damn. Okay.
It was 5 in the morning. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't about to do that.
Yeah. Selena was bragging to us. She was like, I have Ryan Kinnell's number. He could just call us. They're like, all right. She's just like straight up flexing to us.
And then I get there. I was like, holy shit, that's Ryan. What's up, man? Didn't really talk to him that much. I was too tired.
When Jeremy
I was too tired to drink.
Jeremy and Ryan came up before you got there, like 30 minutes before you got there. I was like, yeah, it was two white guys. Everyone laughed. Epic moment for me. W for me. Yeah, but Nate, MSK is thirsting for a crumb of them. I'm just saying, Eric July follows Strider. He could get him on the show. He could DM him.
I don't know about that. I could maybe get you Brandon, but because I messaged him.
They're both black, you know.
Eric's like, I mean, I did super chat. I did super chat Eric and asked him about the Rogues Gallery. He said, "Yeah, we
asked about Iron Show before mine. You son of a bitch."
I just trying to mention who can I
the white man first.
I'm one of the co-hosts on Rogues Gallery. I can't.
Oh my god.
I'll do another one. Well, also, I don't even know if he recognized me. I don't know. I really don't know because that was also after Dallas. So I was trying to leverage it as much because I thought you had already because I mentioned him. You told me to mention your name to him. He remembered you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he remembered you. So that's also why I mentioned Rogues Gallery because
my dad remembered you too. They didn't come back, man. Just saying.
Nate does an L.
Why is Nate spamming L's?
No, but let's be very honest. I kind of don't think that I doubt that. I mean, it would be great if Eric did come on, but he's too busy doing his own.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I don't care. I've talked to people from his company. Busy is an understatement. They said this man be doing like punching like maybe 16-hour days, 12-hour days to get stuff done now. Because their company just started. They just had an anniversary yesterday, so have a happy anniversary to them. Cool. Yeah, so you got to factor in. They're trying to make sure the money keeps rolling in. Gooding right now is taking in 200 some odd K. They just got another 50K from just releasing Ice on One campaign stuff.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
just fucking hell, man. Just has a huge fan base that just wants to just throw money at him. Wish I could be in that position.
I can tell you what's doing it. Dallas was it. That's why everybody is that's why everybody's dander is up to go buy shit whenever it goes on sale because they saw what happened in Dallas. They saw the reaction to it. Even Kino Casino got in on it.
He did,
and they were all for it. That's not a small channel either. So a lot of that goodwill has bled over because you just see the kind of people that are his. Chloe, you're right. Versus totally going broke. Yeah, despite the fact that they're hiring on all these really popular writers, really well-known writers, like Chuck Dixon and Mike Barron. Which honestly, get Chuck Dixon as a staff writer anyway. But that helped. That helped get a lot of goodwill to the Rippaverse because people see the kind of person that Eric July is, and all you got to do is do a side-by-side comparison between him and EVS because EVS. Brags about being the founder of Comicsgate, which that guy sounds like Al Gore's.
Literally not true.
It sounds like Al Gore's gay inbred cousin, but he can't.
Man, bear, pig.
That's kind of what he sounds like.
Eric July licks my ass.
The Earth is cooling for several million degrees.
You know what's crazy is these guys don't even ask for streamers to show their ratings, and they don't ask for transparency on that. Eric shows how much money he's made in campaigns. They're like, "Oh, your company's dying. It's over.
Stop bragging, bro." It's like, fuck you. No, that's the thing. Eric actually spends his time creating his books and supporting his company and doing his damnedest to make sure that nothing goes under, to make sure everything runs smoothly. What does EVS do? Does not release books and spend 7 hours a day on Trashcast, where all of his super chats are coming from, and Vagabond broke this down. All of his super chats, all the money that he makes from Trashcast completely overshadows any campaign that he ever does, that he ever releases. He releases campaigns for books that for part 2 of books that he hasn't even finished part 1 on, haven't even released.
Toys.
He can't make money.
That's been late for 4 years.
Exactly. The thing is, Eric delivers, EVS does not, and EVS sees. And not to bring up like Riley and everybody else, but like having well, that's the thing, Nate. Riley did not make an appearance in Denver. I thought he did. Riley threatened to. I was surprised because they
as if like having warrants against your arrest will automatically make people more alert now.
Not in Denver. He had ones for Texas. That's why he got arrested, dumbass. But he did nothing for Denver. So that would have been an opportunity to do it. But I think Riley knew. I think Riley knew what would have awaited him had he shown up. Because I mean, if you just look at the kind of people that people like EVS cozies up to and who do his bidding, like the Dick Mastersons of the world, and Eric is just sitting here and making thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars off of his campaigns constantly. That's if he doesn't make $1 million. He delivers on his books, and yeah, they're not completely to my taste. I like some of them. I do like aspects of them. They're not perfect, but at least I get them in my hands. Imagine that. Oops, there's just one nuts. I just brought EVS to my monitor. Yep, Nate, he pussied out.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I told people this before. We did a video saying what the company could do better before YuGiOh came out. I did one for Savage that same way. Hey, people, you understand? You can criticize. I don't people say he silences critics. I've literally did 2 videos saying what they could be doing better from a fan point of view, with even you guys, right? I'm not blocked.
Same. He featured my review of Ice on Tomb, which was not kind, in his review roundup.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with Ice on 2. I really didn't like it.
Just get them all in order. Just get ISOM. You have ISOM. Just get ISOM 2, Alpha Core, then just YuGiOh. Just get them all in order. Might as well. If it's
That's a good question.
If you're already continuing off of ISOM, I'd rather just ISOM 2 just to finish that up, because Alpha Core to me is so far the best thing they put out so far. Agreed. And that's kind of self-contained in its own way, where it doesn't continue off of that. So it's better to just have that in isolated form, honestly. And then don't get YuGiOh. YuGiOh shows her boobs in YuGiOh number 1, all flopping out, all nice, perky, firm titties. The button that she was wearing with that outfit is holding them titties back.
God damn you, Button is the real villain of YuGiOh.
God, man. Hey, we need to have an explicit sex scene of YuGiOh getting pounded out by Brian Solari. Just, hypothetically, in my mind.
Good with that.
I thought you were fun.
I'm good. I'm going to see that.
It's almost like the Eric can't take criticism bit was purely salty cope. The detractors literally said, basically, if he didn't fight back, it's like, okay, so that's translation for I just say bullshit, and if I get pushed back, then I'm gonna just make up more lies. They literally
and to be clear, Eric did not really know how to handle all of this fame that he got. Now, and he did lash out. I think he got frustrated, he got angry, and any one of us would. But unfortunately,
millions, hundreds of thousands of people railing at you. Like anyone's gonna be like, oh fuck it, they're having an off day. And imagine if he was already having a bad day and you went on Twitter, which did make it worse. Like if you have people just constantly making up shit, I don't agree with that. Oh, you should just not say no. Like you should say something about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he had people saying. I mean, I still remember one of the dumbest arguments was, well, he should just release his business, the Rippaverse tax identity number, your social security number for your business, and that way we could check his records. Like fuck you. No,
he doesn't owe that at all to you.
No, he doesn't owe a goddamn thing to that. We should see his bank statements. No,
that's I don't know, man. Like that's the criminal shit.
Well, that's it. They did it hoping that he'd be stupid, and which he's not stupid enough. That he'd be dumb enough, or someone would be dumb enough to do it, and they'd be able to bankrupt him or steal his money or something like that. To laugh at him, to lolcow, and I guarantee you that was all Dick Masterson's doing. But notice it's not like he's not getting this insane response anymore from a lot of people. It's just like 2 people, and they're all comic skaters and Dick Masterson, and they're all just disgusting pieces of shit. And the mainstream is kind of like, what the hell? And because they see that they can run a bridge to his whole detractors went a bridge too far with the whole Riley thing in Dallas, and the guy does not help himself by continuing to stream and continuing to talk. So I mean, you just see these degenerate, disgusting bums, as Kino Casino describes them, and that's all they are. They act like it, and Eric's just like, I'm just making money doing comics. What are you doing? So Eric still wins. Kind of nice.
This is all over comic books. Characters on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And then all the indie, not all, a decent amount of the resentful, bitter part of the indie community, they were like, there's people that have the sentiment where they feel like they have friends that could have did it better if they had got the money. But it's like, you wouldn't have known that. People are, I can't go over this today. I'll go over it tomorrow in more detail. We just had a situation recently for Comicsgate, someone that I had on for one-on-ones for my original Batman podcast. So it was my one-on-ones that I did for my other bigger channel. This guy quite literally had some falling out with some colorists, And, he ended up basically telling the backers, hey, yeah, you're going to get a book that's non-colored, even though the reason why you backed it is to have a 44-page book in color. There is no guarantee if you give some, and his campaign made money. His campaign made $50,000, okay? It's like he didn't make the goal that he was trying to ask for. So it's stupid. It's a really stupid notion for people to be like, well, if my friends had got this money, they would have did better with it. First of all, you don't know that. I guarantee you they wouldn't have. And second of all, I really doubt anything would have changed that much. What they did, because they keep saying they would have did a better product. That's subjective anyway. Better what? People can't get these books and don't read them. What quality are you getting? Quality of no reading? That's great. It's awesome. Hell yeah, I got a book that I don't read. That's fucking great. That is actually awesome. The thing is, Eric seems to be held to a standard no one else has to meet. Yeah, the guy literally. And people factor in. So okay, I'll just go over. I don't have too much time. I'll put the clip notes out there. So basically, you guys know Dragon Rage, Jimmy Ray's. Okay, so he had falling outs with two colorists for various different reasons. I know them, but various different reasons because he mentioned them. To the point where he made an update on his Indiegogo campaign that he wasn't going to go to deliver the 44-page colored book. He's going to do it in black and white. Keep in mind, people backed for a colored book. Then EVS suggested that they should do another campaign for the colored book to raise funds for the colorists. Okay, if he had issues with colorists, why didn't he just postpone printing the book? Because keep in mind, he had mentioned the fact that the books were at the printer, they're going to be shipped to him. So he's going to ship black and white books to people, even though they backed a colored book, just to have another campaign come up to raise funds for the colored book that people were already originally promised. I'm sorry, like people are going to be mad about that. I know Jimmy's not a bad guy. He's had health problems. I think he had a heart attack or almost a heart attack. I understand he's had some health problems. I don't even hate Jimmy. I like Jimmy. He, ghosted me a while ago. I tried to have a one-on-one again, but it's whatever. It's fine. I don't get it. He's not a bad guy. I don't think he is. But he has to understand, you can see why people are mad, right? People originally, and keep on, this is a book that's already been going on like 2 years late, And then to get an inferior part that's black and white, people say, well, manga's black and white. That's not the backers back for a colored book. That's it. They should get a colored book. In discussion. That's what the customers back. That's what the customers wanted. That's what they should get. To use the copium argument of like, manga's black and white. Yeah, it's not a manga. People know manga's not black and white. So if you backed a manga Kickstarter, you'd know it's not in color. It's pretty fucking simple, honestly. It's just, oh my God, it's so stupid. Like, I like Jimmy, I do, but he has to understand, you should have just postponed the campaign, found another colorist to do the rest of the coloring, just to get the book printed, and then print the book. So he went and printed the book, and the book is going to be black and white. It's like, come on, man. People are going to be mad about that. Like, come on, dude. Sorry, should have just waited longer. Book's already going to go on 3 years later anyway. He already said it's going to be delayed. So, fuck it. For colorists only. He was fighting for the colors. Oh, my God. So,
35% of the colored books make, or 15% of the colored books make up for 75% of the crime. I had to. I'm sorry. You just kept saying it.
You were gonna do that.
You said it. You're a black man. You can't say
per capita colorists make up all the crime statistics.
Couldn't resist. Sorry.
And there is no shortage of colorists out there, people.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
The door was open. He had to walk through.
Their dads leave and never come back.
And now that my likes are private,
I'm going to hell.
Just saying, now that likes are private, there's been some people that have been very big that have been liking my tweets connected to other people.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. People are going to be able to be honest, which is great.
Yeah. People literally think retweets are endorsements. People think if you like a tweet, you fully endorse it. So cringe.
Okay, game journalists.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dumb. It's cool though.
No, I have no problem with the hiding of the likes.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
I'm a problem with it either. The whole you can see who liked it, and you can still see who quote tweeted.
Yeah, you should see who liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like people really overreacted. You could have literally retweeted something because you thought it would be cool to the conversation to hear a take, and they would think you're endorsing it to maybe fire you from your job. It got to a point where it was getting too literal, honestly.
I guarantee
I
guarantee that's why Elon did it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, people are getting fired for likes. This is stupid.
Yep.
But we live in a world where people are going to do that. So instead of just letting that happen, he's like, I'm going to protect you. Here you go. Thanks, Elon.
Too many colorists grew up in single color homes.
Grew up in monochrome homes.
All right. We'll do Strider's outro for relief. You got anything planned coming up, man? Any more content you're gonna be working on coming up very soon?
No, I just released I just did my Captain America video, and apparently the microphone is really low. So maybe I've got issues with recording. Maybe I'm just not doing it close enough. I have no idea. But I'll get that fixed for the next one.
Go into your volume mixer and just turn up your mic's volume.
I thought I did, and maybe I just didn't do it well enough. But
sometimes they reset. Remember?
Oh, that must have been it. Okay, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple power outages since then.
White man,
I don't do this often enough to learn. I don't care. I barely make videos anymore. It's just because I'm not really interested anymore. This is more fun. But yeah, I'm gonna have. I'm trying to think if there's anything big coming up. I was wanting to do, well, the Captain America one kind of got me off course. There was one I wanted to do about AI localizers, which that I know nothing about, but I am completely okay with AI localizers in principle. And so I'll do a video on that later this week.
All right,
everyone. It all ties back to Gamergate. Everything.
As you guys know, I'm working on getting the gaming channel, YuGiOh channel.
Oh, Nate, you're right. I do I'm going to be doing. I'm sorry, I forgot to plug this. I'm going to be doing D&D with Full Metal Nate this next Saturday, not tomorrow, but next Saturday.
You're gonna promote that cloud chasing fuck.
I'm also on with you every Monday, except for this past Monday because of the fucking hurricane. So my internet should be back. Should stay on.
Excuses.
And also on weekly Rogues Gallery every Friday. Man, I am bad at this plugging stuff.
God, man.
Sorry.
So yeah, Iron left me. Selena left me. Everyone left me. That's how it works. As you guys know, YuGiOh and gaming channel about to be ready to be launched. I wrote down the notes for the welcome videos. I'm gonna record them very soon. They should be ready to go. I know I've been saying days, but I'm not pushing them back because I'm not confident. It's just I've been very busy. That's really just all it is, honestly. Cloud9 podcast episodes going to Rumble that I'm uploading there manually. New episodes of this show and the Cloud9 podcast uploaded to the podcasting platforms. And yeah, content we're recording on here getting uploaded for you guys. And make sure you guys have a great weekend. And thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Iron Man podcast. And we'll see you guys.